Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, racing fans, and welcome back to NXTGEN Racing, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. We welcome back the long-awaited NXTGEN Racing GT3s, and this is going to be Season 9. I remember back in Season 1 when I was taking part in this championship, and it's come on absolute leaps and bounds since then, and we're pleased to see it back here tonight at Round 1 of this championship, with 50-plus drivers on the grid. Let's get this started, shall we? I'm Alex Everett, your commentator for this season, and this is Season 9 of the GT3s hosted by NXTGEN Racing. It has seen many different categories and classes of racing, including GTEs, prototypes, but it is predominantly GT3 racing, and it is yet again this season. Let's give a big shout out to NXTGEN Racing, who put on this league, but also many other leagues, including GR86 Toyotas and the NXTCC, the infamous, world-famous NXTCC, that is. And if you want to get involved in any of NXTGEN Racing races, you can scan the QR code you can see just above the middle of the screen there. That'll give you access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server. From there, you'll meet the drivers, you'll meet the admins, and you'll see all the news that's going on with NXTGEN Racing, all the brilliant leagues they are running at the moment, and leagues they will host in the future, of course. That'll give you direct access to all news that is NXTGEN Racing, and you'll see all the banter that goes on in all the chats for these races. It's a very, very great place to be, and it means if you want to get involved in the racing, you can as well. Or you can just join as a spectator or a general fan of NXTGEN Racing. It's entirely up to you. But NXTGEN Racing would not exist without the help and the sponsorship and affiliation with all of our partner sponsors and affiliates here at NXTGEN Racing. That include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, and Falconer PC. So, a little bit about these GT3 seasons. Well, the format is relatively unchanged since previous seasons. Why change what isn't broken? We have got a 1 hour practice that is ongoing right now. The drivers are out there on the circuit practicing away, trying to get the best lap times they can, ready for what will be a 20-minute qualifying session on the hour. That will be 8 o'clock UK time in just about 12 minutes from now. And then immediately after that qualifying session, we will start the 20-minute sprint race. So that's a very short race in these GT3 cars, but the positions of qualifying will decide the grid, the overall grid for the sprint races. And I say overall, we'll come to that a little bit later on. That will follow with a 60-minute feature race, where we will see a pit stop in those 60-minute races. But along with the sprint and feature race formats, there is a 10-round championship that we'll show you the rounds for, but we also have 3 endurance rounds featured in this championship. They are singular 2-hour races featuring a reverse grid of championship order to set the grid for those races, and they'll feature sporadically throughout the season during rounds 3, 6, and 10. And new to this season, there's a lot more stewardship and a lot more governance behind these races to make sure that the racing is clean, fair, and entertaining. We have live race control, full course yellow systems, safety cars, and there is stewarding after the races just in case anything needs to be investigated after the race. So it is a tightly knit run series here at NXTGEN Racing, like all the series that are run here. There are 3 classes, and these are skill classes. So this is essentially a series that is catered for all skills of drivers. We've got the gold category, which is the top tier drivers in this league, the best of the best. Names like Benji McCluskey and William Guthrie feature in this category. You've got the middle tier, the silver tier, which are the slightly more experienced, slightly less experienced drivers, shall we say, than the gold category. And then we've also got the bronze category, which are drivers who are less experienced than others, who are learning the ropes a little bit, getting used to iRacing, and or just doing this for pure fun. It is a series catered for all drivers, as we mentioned, so if you don't think you're good enough for this league, think again. Anyone can take part and fight for wins and championships. And it is all GT3 cars. We'll go through the list of GT3 cars very shortly, but there's plenty to choose from in this championship. And it's a fixed setup series as well, which means you don't have to worry about car setups, but it means that whatever car you have, it means that the ride height can't be changed, the gears can't be changed, tyre pressures can't be changed. The only thing the drivers can change whilst they're driving, like most drivers can in real life, is brake bias. It's the only thing they can choose to modify the handling of their car. It is purely down to driver skill and car capability from track to track. And we'll mention that as time goes by in this series. So that's a little bit about the series. For anyone that is new to the GT3s, I appreciate that might be old news to a lot of people who have watched this series over the years. But let's get down to what we really want to know about this series, and that is what tracks we're going to be racing this series. So we start off with round 1 here at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez GP circuit, otherwise known as the Mexico City Grand Prix circuit. We'll mention more about this circuit just a few moments' time, and that is featuring today, but next week we're back in action for another sprint and feature race format, and we'll be at the Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit. We all know it as Interlagos. So we're heading south to South America for that second round of the championship. And you'll notice that there are 3 gold-lettered rounds in this calendar. They are the endurance rounds. Singular 2-hour endurances for those 3 of the 10. And we'll start off the endurance stint with Road America. Now that featured a few series ago, and it is featuring again, but this time as an endurance round. And last time it did feature in the GT3 Championship, it was a great circuit to feature, so I'm glad it's back. Likewise with round 4, we're back to the sprint and feature race format, and it'll be to the Motorland Aragon circuit in Spain, northeast Spain, near the mountains that separate Spain and France, and it is the outer loop of the Aragon circuit. And then we'll be over to Germany for a double header in Germany actually. Round 5 will be featured at the Hockenheimring GP circuit, and round 6, the second endurance, well, where else is it going to be? It's going to be at the Nürburgring Gesamtstrecke VLN circuit, which is the full shebang, the full thing. That is going to be an awesome round for round 6, featuring pit stops, of course, featuring strategy, maybe featuring bad weather, who knows. But we'll wait for that round 6 with anticipation. We'll be back for round 7 at the Silverstone Circuit Grand Prix, my circuit closest to home, so I'm glad we're going there. It's a nice short trip down the road for me to commentate on that race. And round 8 will be in Italy at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza GP circuit, a classic in the GT3 Championship. And round 9, well, it wouldn't be a next-gen championship without Mosport, would it? We're back in the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, round 9 of the championship, the final of the sprint and feature race format races, but the final of the championship. Oh, what a circuit, one of my favourite circuits. Spa-Francorchamps will host the final round of the championship, a singular 2-hour endurance, to crown our champions here at the GT3 Championship, hosted by NXTGEN. So that's the calendar, but what about the cars that we're racing? We mentioned it's traditional GT3 machinery, and these are the cars that the drivers can choose from. Until now, they were able to choose any of these cars, and they were able to switch to any of these cars during pre-season, but tonight their car will stick. And they have a choice of the Acura NSX GT3, the Aston Martin Vantage, the latest installation of the GT3 cars, Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, BMW M4, Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. Very traditional, iconic GT3 machinery, as we mentioned. Drivers can switch cars during the season, they are not prohibited to, but if they do so, and they might do so tactically as well throughout the season, we have seen that from other drivers, it will incur a 50-point penalty to their championship tally. We have seen drivers do this, so who knows what will happen, but we'll monitor that as the season goes by. So that's a lot of the housekeeping over and done with. What about the circuit that we're racing tonight? It is the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez to host round 1 of the championship. It's a fairly new addition to iRacing. Only last season it was introduced to iRacing, so all the drivers have had to buy it. They've had to spend their hard-earned pennies to get this track. And it is fairly cold out there, actually. It's quite early in the morning right now. I think it's about 10 a.m. Racing time. 21 degrees out there, and practice last night in the shakedown that they had last night, it was boiling hot. It nearly got to 50 degrees track temperature, actually. So we'll keep an eye on that temperature as the night goes on, because heavier temperatures means that grip is less predictable. More understeer and more oversteer. If you can get both at the same time, it will happen at this circuit. But also, the one thing to bear in mind with this circuit is high altitude, which means that air resistance against the cars is, well, the effect of it is heightened because there's certain cars that are better handling at these higher altitudes. And I'm hearing the Mustang might be pretty good at that, so we'll keep an eye on that. But the Mexico City track here, the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez, it translates to the Rodriguez Brothers Racetrack, named after Ricardo Rodriguez and Pedro Rodriguez. It is a 9.3 kilometre or 2.7 mile circuit with 17 turns, 10 to the right and 7 to the left. And it is a very famous track nowadays. It did have a hiatus from racing for quite a long time, but it currently hosts Formula 1, Formula E and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And of course, the one thing that for me that makes this track iconic is of course that long straight, that front straight, which is over a mile long. We have got the stadium section as well towards the end of the lap. But of course, my favourite thing from over the years of this circuit is that iconic moment in Formula 1, the 1990 Formula 1 Grand Prix at Mexico here, when the final corner was a bit of a banked turn. It's Nigel Mansell overtaking Gerhard Berger on the final corner of this track. It's a brilliant overtake. And if you haven't seen that clip of Mansell overtaking Berger here in the 90s, go watch it on YouTube after this live stream, of course. It is a fantastic clip. One of the most iconic in motorsport, I feel. So, we're nearly done, and we can get on with the action. But let's just remind ourselves what actually happened last season, who our champions were, and who to look out for as we head into this season. So we'll start off with the gold category, and these are some very, very nice new visuals, I must say, for these championship standings that we're going to see throughout the season. Now, Ben McCluskey is the most successful driver in the NXTGEN GT3 Championship history, and he maintained that and prolonged it even more, actually, as he took the championship last season in the final round. Another championship under his belt. But the driver to look out for this season, two drivers to look out for this season as well as Benji McCluskey, are William Guthrie, who was third place last season. You'll notice all the zeros at the start of his tally. He only joined in from round 4, and he was not that far off top spot, let's be honest. So look out for him this season. He was ferociously quick back in Season 5 with the prototypes. He joined partway through last season and was quick right from the word go. Let's keep an eye on him. Stefan Vessels is also a driver to keep an eye on. He's 5th place last season. He's had rotten luck last season and a few no-shows last season. But he's back this season, and he'll be hoping for a big season, as he was champion of Season 7 in dramatic circumstances, it must admit. But he was champion nonetheless. He was looking to defend it, and he couldn't last season too. He's going to be back with a vengeance. So let's look at silver category now. Brandon Vincent-Squibb was the champion last season. He will move up to gold category this season, so we'll see how he gets on this season. But Alan McCain was second last season, just ahead of Phil McDougall, who actually himself, Phil McDougall, is in gold category now as well. But Alan McCain remains in silver category, so he is surely one of the favourites representing Crest Autosport for this championship. Bronze category. Oliver Forsström's not entered this season, neither have the Quatermass team, but he won the championship last season and he dominated for a large part of it. But Stein Vatens had a surge of a comeback last season to try and get the championship, but he couldn't quite manage it. Second place for him. He'll be looking to get that this season. But in fact, Stein Vatens is in the silver category, so it does really open up this bronze category. But Stein Vatens was very quick overall anyway last season, so look out for him in the silver championship. And of course the teams Quatermass are not entering this this time around, but Mission R, who were runners-up last season, they have rebranded their team to Type 2 Racing, and they feature 4 teams in this championship. So look out for the strong contingent of their drivers this season. CSA were in third in that season as well. They're always a force to be reckoned with, so look out for their drivers this season as well, featuring Steph Vessels and Jeffrey Kruger and Jason Raff. So that's what happened last season, and right in the nick of time, we're about to start qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So a quick look at the standings here. Benji McCluskey, you would expect, is quickest in practice at the moment in the gold category. Sean Shute, who's usually gold category, down to silvers this time, is quickest in the silvers, followed by Stein Vaten's promotion from bronze category. And Lewis Mason, outright by far quickest in the bronze category, so he surely is in good stead for tonight's round in the only Audi in the field. There's a lot of Mustangs out there, I might add, a lot of Mustangs. It is a very, very fast car, I'm told, compared to the crowd of GT3s. So we have got to look out for that car. Okay, we are heading to the end of practice now. We'll head into the qualifying session. This is going to be a very interesting qualifying session, because it is a clean slate for all these drivers, and they're going to want to get as close as they can to the front of the grid. Because of this long straight and heavy braking into turn one, no one wants to be in the middle of the pack heading into turn one. So this is a very important qualifying session, and we'll see how the drivers get on. Benji McCluskey heads out onto the track. He's the first out there. And in the nice new Tiger-inspired NXTGEN liveries there. Oh, they're very nice. He's got the number 1 back on his door, though. And let's see what luck that'll bring him this season. The NXTGEN driver is out on the track. And he'll be hoping for a big success in this season as well. Looking to hang on to that number 1 on his door. He is the most successful driver in NXTGEN history in this GT3 Thursday Night League, as we mentioned, which puts and adds more pressure on his shoulders, of course. But we will see how he gets on. Another driver to look out for, as we mentioned, William Guthrie in the Full Tilt V Motorsport team. He's going to be looking for a championship. It's eluded him in this NXTGEN Championship as far back as the early seasons. But he'll be one of the favourites for this one this season, that is for sure. So let's head back to Benji McCluskey, because our champion and quickest in practice is going to give us a guided tour around a lap of this Mexico City Grand Prix circuit. And we'll go on board with him as we enter into the stadium section here. Not many fans out to see the NXTGEN Championship tonight in the flesh here, because they're all watching on the live stream. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. And we will do a lap of the Mexico City Grand Prix circuit now. Main straight. Very, very long straight here. It will just keep going and going. Let's see what the top speed is of Benji McCluskey when we get to the end of it, and we head into the opening chicane. Approaching 150 miles per hour, as you can see there. 153 was the highest number there. Into turn one we go. Right-hander, left-hander. The amount of times on lap one we see drivers head off the circuit there. And out of turn three we go. Up another long straight here, and we'll head into the very slow chicane next of turns 4 and 5. Taking a lot of curb on the inside there, but you don't want to plant the throttle too much and then just bleed it round in first gear around that. Very slow turn 5, one of the slowest corners on the circuit. Turn 6, and now we head back down the circuit towards turn 7. The S's now that just repeat as we head through this mid part of the lap. Turn 8, turn 9 left, and then turn 10 right, and turn 11 now. Foot to the floor as we head towards the stadium section, the final and crucial part of this lap. Purple sector at the moment in sector 2 for Ben McCluskey. Someone else has taken fastest in sector 1 into the stadium section. This is turn 13, followed by 14 and 15. Very slow part of the circuit as the driver was off on the side there. And then the final 2 corners. That's a lap of the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez. Across the line we go. It's the opening lap from Benji McCluskey. It will appear in the times. It hasn't actually. It's an invalid lap for Benji McCluskey. But to the top goes his teammate, Gaz Williams, who, by the way, is the host of this series, the main host. It's run by many people. but Gaz Williams is the head honcho here. And he's taken part in this series, has won quite a few races actually over the seasons and years, has Gaz Williams. But it's a good start in qualifying for him. William Guthrie in second position. Let's look out for him. I think tyres are still getting warmed up, and there's a couple of invalid laps coming through actually. In the silver category, John Berry, who was bronze category last season, is up into first place at the moment in the silver. Zara McGuinness into second place. And new driver Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in the Mustang in bronze category is currently the only valid time setter at the bronze category until now. Joshua Downing goes into first place in the Acura car. We watch Jonas Anderson following the Porsche in front of him at the final corner. It's Jonas Anderson's first race in the Next Gen GT3, so there's a lot of debutants tonight that at some point we'll have to mention them tonight. There's quite a few of them. But across the line goes Jonas Anderson, third place for him. A good start to the session also for Paul Williams, fourth overall and second in category. But as I say that, Jason Raff in the CSA team goes to the top of the standings in the gold category. Jason Raff has in the past been a silver category driver, so welcome to the gold category, the big ticket club. And that's a very good start to his gold career in Next Gen. Benji McCluskey is about to cross the line. Is this a valid lap? It's a 41.6. That's a brilliant second lap. Now, he is the first to complete a second lap. He's half a second quicker than his teammate, and he's a couple of tenths quicker than William Guthrie. But Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, I've referred to him over the years. The Welshman is into first place here. Brilliant start to qualifying for him. Anyone else heading through? We've got Adrian Ruiz Hernandez across the line with purple sectors there. Goes quicker. Yes, he does. He's gone quicker, but it is only enough for second place at the moment. It's still Josh Downing that holds that spot. Zara McGuinness has gone into second place again in the silver category. Who else is about to cross the line? There's not many big times coming through, but Wojciech Kurp and Neil Forbes have put themselves into the top contention in silver category. Paul Williams in second position. He's looking good tonight in that McLaren. But Neil Forbes, new driver tonight, into first place, making his statement in the silver category. Lillian Sinclair is into bronze category. You might be wondering at this point, well, what has put these drivers into these categories? They run a series of pre-season races and time trial sessions before the season starts that decides them into their category. So it should be in the rule of thirds that we like to call it here at Next Gen. But there are sometimes exceptions due to cars being pretty good at certain circuits and of course certain drivers being good at other circuits. Now, bronze category, Andrew Allen goes to the top of the standings. He's followed closely by Jonas Anderson. They currently are quicker than all silver category drivers. So that's a brilliant start to the session for them. Likewise also Ben McCluskey, he's looking super quick tonight. Only half a tenth quicker, but he's still quicker than everyone in gold category and everyone else on the grid right now. He's first place. Just ahead of Jack Pittas, who put himself into second place just then, as well as Brandon Vincent-Squibb, new to the gold category. The outgoing champion of silver category has put himself into third place in gold. Very good start at the moment to his gold category venture. Up into first of silver category, John Berry, and teammate Zara McGuinness was following, likewise with teammate Stein Vatens. In the Type 2 car, still with a livery inspired by the Mission R livery from last season that I loved very much. He's now knocked down to fourth as Wojciech Kurp and Neil Forbes are going very quick tonight. But still, top of the pile in silvers is John Berry. Top of bronze category still is Andrew Allen. New driver to Next Gen GT3s, and so is Jonas Anderson in second position. So the debutants doing very, very well at the moment. Alan McCain in silver category up to fifth position, and a swap of positions between Neil Forbes and Stein Vatens for third and fourth. Up to third position in the gold category is Harry Langford, winner of one race last season, but was second in the championship last season. Looking quick yet again this season. Stefan Vessels, the Season 7 champion, is up to fourth place at the moment. Oh, and look at this. That was a very quick Sectors 1 and 2 from Ben McCluskey, and he does improve his time. His Sector 3 wasn't as good as his previous, but still enough to get him a very high position of first place and near quarter of a second quicker than anyone else at the moment. Quicker times just then set by Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He's still in that third position. John Berry's looking very, very quick, and actually at this point we will switch the overall standings, and the reason we do that is because the drivers will start in overall order for race 1 tonight's sprint race, but we'll switch to category group starts for the feature race. So we'll keep an eye on this, but the reason we were looking at categories just then is because being pole position of your category will get you 1 bonus point for the championship, and that will basically mean if you're pole position in your category in this session, you take the lead of the championship immediately. That's surely something that's going to incentivize these drivers. John Berry is one of them that would hold that championship lead after this session. Okay, not many more times coming through at the moment, but you can see on the left the split of gold, silver and bronze category drivers. Majority gold in the top 20, of course, and silver category are making themselves aware in that top 20. Into third place of the bronze category, but 26th overall at the moment is Gabriel Papaconstantino of the Aztec Racing team. He had some good results last season, but was very much a part-timer last season, so we'll see how he gets on in this season. William Guthrie, quick as ever, but 4th place here at the moment for him in the Mercedes, in the gold category, but that's 4th place overall as we mentioned. The top 10 separated by 1 second at the moment on this fairly long track actually, 1 minute and 3/4. We do see some shorter tracks later on in the season, Aragon being one of them. We also see some very long tracks as well, Spa-Francorchamps and Nürburgring. A couple of drivers are back out on the track. It was the halfway point of the session not too long ago, a minute ago. So it means that a lot of drivers will take on fresh tyres, will head back out there. It normally takes a few laps to get these tyres rubbered in. It used to be, well, as soon as you head out on track, the tyres were ready. It used to be the case, but now not so. The first lap is horrendous on these tyres in these GT3 cars. So it is very difficult to get a clean lap in early on. It means you have to scrub it in at the start of the session. Oh, and William Guthrie held up there by a next-gen BMW, and he wasn't happy about that. He wanted to take a dive to the inside. That was the number 2 driver of Joseph Wright. Joseph Wright is a fellow commentator. So, yeah, welcome to racing, Joseph. But Joseph Wright is the commentator of the GR86 League that NXTGEN Racing also hosts. Of course, if you want access to our Discord server, that will be in the description of this video on YouTube and Facebook, and you can click that link and give you access to our Discord server. So a couple of drivers still warming up their tyres here. There will be some more times coming through as the session goes on, but at the moment they're warming up their tyres and trying to warm up for a clean lap here. You'll notice that a lot of drivers with similar liveries will stick together out there, just like these Crest Autosport drivers. You had Stephen Fry, Stephen de Grevelier, Nigel Stock and Alan McCain sticking together there. You also have the Type 2 racing team sticking together. They're the newly named Type 2 Racing from what they were last season of Mission R. You've got the CSA drivers. They'll work together as well in the matte orange and blue liveries. You can see one of them at the front of this train here. A lot of drivers trying to get their position, try and get themselves a good draft. A good draft is very important on this circuit. There's quite a few long straights. 3 notable long straights, I would say, on this circuit, and generally getting a draft in any closed top car like a GT3 is very important anyway. But on this main straight, it'll be the most important part of qualifying. Gaz Williams has opened up the floodgates with the times. He's gone quicker. He's into 6th. Brandon Vincent-Squibb went quicker than his previous. He had a little bit of slipstream from in front from William Guthrie. So William must be annoyed about that, as the person he's trying to beat right behind him has bettered him. But there's still time in this session. Gavin Gardner puts himself much higher on the board. 14th at the moment in category, 16th overall. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, purple middle sector, 39th at the moment. Does not actually go quicker, but there's some good sector times creeping through there. So we'll see what happens later on. George Plaster, new driver to the championship, is up into 12th position. And just as we said that, Neil Forbes back up towards the higher positions. Now, the silver category have got a real problem in that they're going to start a long way away from their rival for the silver category. John Berry is a few places clear of Neil Forbes here. 14th, and he's got a lot of cars between him and John Berry in 8th at the moment. So he'll be hoping, A, that he can get quicker to get closer to John Berry, and B, other gold category drivers can go quicker to put John Berry down towards his own position. Harry Langford crosses the line, looked like a fairly good lap, and it was. 4th position for Harry Langford, less than half second off top spot as it stands. Elwyn Sykes has just put in a good lap to put himself 5th in category, 21st on the grid at the moment. Elwyn Sykes is a promoted driver from bronze category, so into the silver category, whole new world as you go into each category in this championship. What about other drivers that are setting laps here? Couple of green sectors out there, so let's just keep an eye on that timing tower on the left. You can see drivers move around, just like Gavin Gardner, who moves ahead of Jesse Payne-Wilkins, but still down in 16th at the moment. But the standout performer at the moment here is John Berry in 8th place overall here. He'd be very pleased with that. It would be like a cat amongst the pigeons, which is a phrase I've used in this series, particularly with the sprint races, because you put the silver category drivers amongst the gold category drivers. They're not actually fighting for points with one another, but the more cars you can put between yourself and other drivers in your category, with other drivers going between yourselves, the more safe you are, I suppose, of protecting your position in category. Because points are not scored on overall basis, they are scored on category basis. So first in silver, doesn't matter where you are in the overall grid, if you're first in silver, you get top points in silver. Langford is really hammering it down now. He's into 3rd place in his new team, Type 2 Motorsport, or Type 2 Racing should I say. Him and Jack Pittas are 3 and 2 at the moment, trying to hunt down Benji McCluskey, the GOAT. Oh, there's William Guthrie. Challenges it up to 4th place. Times are rolling in now. Most drivers will get another 2 laps in here at Mexico City before they will cross the checkered flag. And straight after this, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the sprint race. It's a 20-minute race. It won't feature any pit stops. It would just be pure racing and a full grid to start off that race. And it will be rolling starts as well, just to mention. Another standout performer in this race, and not a very good camera angle there, but we have got Andrew Allen at the top of the standings in bronze category, but he seems to have called it a day here in this session. Seems comfortable with his time, but then again, that's not to be, as Adrian Ruiz Hernandez puts himself, and I said he's looking good on the times, and he has nailed a lap here. He's up to 17th overall and the quickest of the bronze category drivers. There he is. He's a privateer in this series, but in the Mustang is a long way clear of most of the bronze category drivers. He's in fact 11 places clear of 3rd place in bronze category. That's a statement from the Spanish driver. And I do apologise, Adrian is not a privateer. He is in the Gassed Up Motorsports team, a new team to this championship. So we'll see how they get on in their debut season as Gassed Up Motorsports. Now, Jack Pittas is in the pits. He's called it a day. Second place is his at the moment, but might be threatened here by William Guthrie with a good first sector. Is it a good second and third? No, not quite, because Brandon Vincent-Squibb has gone even quicker, up to 4th place. Back past William Guthrie he goes. Wow, Brandon Vincent-Squibb in the gold category is something I was always looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to it more now, as he's super competitive up here. He was a big improver last season. He joined last season. It was his first season. He won the opening race of the season, the sprint race at Fuji, and it seemed like he was unbeatable in the silver category. And you know what? He had good battles that season in the silver category, but he did ultimately go on and win it. He led for the majority of the championship as well. It's a gold category. It's a warm welcome to that category from me. Let's see how he gets on. Okay. So current pole sitters in each category, and they'll get the bonus point, are Benji McCluskey, John Berry, and Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, as the checkered flag is out. Gabriel Papaconstantino would be first to cross the line to finish the session. Does he go quicker? I don't think he does. He stays 7th in category, 35th overall. Yaroslav Pataluk with no livery on his car. Nice and simple. Stays 40th at the moment. Alan McCain will be next to cross the line. He's 30th at the moment. He'll look for a better position with Stephen Fry, his teammate, right behind him. Both Porsche drivers do not well, yeah, they do, sorry. Alan McCain stays where he is, but Stephen Fry nips ahead into 29th place. Benji McCluskey has just crossed the line a little bit slower. Some intel from the drivers. It's getting increasingly hotter and more slippery, so it's rough trying to improve. Absolutely, and the track is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Are there any more drivers out there? Yes, there are. We just couldn't get cameras to switch to them. So, not many drivers moving around. Ben Altria does go to 10th. Jeffrey Kruger's about to finish a lap. This is Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. He's staying out there. No, he's not. He's gone to the pits. He must feel very pleased with qualifying at the moment. A long way clear of his rivals. George Plaster has gone to 10th position in category. A good final lap from him on his debut to get into the top 10 overall. Here's the weather. Track temperature is 42 degrees. That is hot. Very, very hot indeed. Zara McGuinness has put herself into 4th place in category, 20th on the road. And drivers, I believe, have now finished. The only driver still out there is Matt Gatter, but Matt Gatter would have already crossed the checkered flag. So, that is our overall standings. Benji McCluskey, John Berry, and Ruiz Hernandez lead the championship in their respective categories. 1 bonus point to them, but it all starts now in the races. Yes, absolutely. Hearing about track temperatures, it did go up to 51. I was there watching it last night. It did go up to 51 degrees track temperature last night in Shakedown. So it's very, very difficult for the drivers. And it just feels like, almost like you're driving in the wet when it's a super hot track. On iRacing it does anyway. It just feels like you've got no grip and it just understeers. Right, so we are gridding up for our opening race of the championship and of the night. And we'll start off with the top 12 drivers here. All gold drivers, and at the top of the field is the number 1 driver, Benji McCluskey, on the pole position. And alongside him is Jack Pittas in the Type 2 Racing, his debut for his new team. Likewise with Harry Langford, they've both come over from the Quatermass team, he's 3rd. Brandon Vincent-Squibb in 4th position, promoted from silver category last season. William Guthrie in 5th position with the Season 7 champion. Stefan Vessels in 6th. Gaz Williams, the host of the series, is 7th, followed by newcomer tonight, Archie Bennett. George Plaster, another debutant tonight, is 9th position with Ben Altria in 10th. Adam Wilson-Weir in 11th position and Jason Raff in 12th. 13th position goes to Kieran Davidson with Jesse Payne-Wilkins in 13th position. Do excuse me, we have to just refresh the standings. There we go. Jason Raff is 13th with Kieran Davidson 14th. Jesse Payne-Wilkins in 15th. And in 16th position is Neil Forbes with Wojciech Kerp in 17th. Adrian Ruiz-Hernandez, first of the bronze category drivers, is 18th. Gavin Gardner 19th with Zara McGuinness in 20th. Stein Vatens 21st with Elwyn Sykes 22nd. It's a 11th row of the grid there of drivers who are promoted from bronze to silver category. Lewis Mason is second of the bronzes. He's in 23rd with Klaas Vellen in 24th. 25th is Andrew Allen with Mark Baker in 26th. 27th, Jeffrey Kruger with Paul Williams alongside. The 15th row is taken up by Crest Autosport drivers Stephen Fry and Alan McCain. Josh Downing in 31st with Jonas Anderson in 32nd. Jochen Siegert in 34th with Nigel Stock alongside. Matthew Addy and Gabriel Papaconstantino line up on that 18th row. 37th is Stephen de Gravelia with Phil McDougall on 38th position. Jopi Siemens and Yaroslav Pataluk line up on the 20th row. Matt Gatter, Sean Shute line up 41st and 42nd with Sammy Araba in 43rd. 44th is Joseph Wright, fellow commentator of mine. Lillian Sinclair is in 45th with Leslie Brazil in 46th. 47th and 48th is Rob Savage and Wesley Lewin. And rounding out the rest of the grid is Andrew Rooney, Davide Favo, Ryan Blackwell and Fabian Kozulek. That is our grid for the opening race of the night, the opening race of this GT3 Season 9 Championship. Drivers waiting for everyone else to grid up. We'll get going with the rolling lap. Remember, no category splits for this opening race, the sprint races. It is all drivers starting together. And it makes it a little bit of a baptism of fire, but it does mean that heading down into turn 1, we're going to see 50 plus cars, 52 we'll see, heading down that long straight, all into turn 1 at once. It's going to be quite the picture to capture, and the person who captures the pictures of this championship, which you did see on the preview of this show, Benji McCluskey, is Benji Sim Photos, and he takes nice screenshots of these races, brilliant photography skills, and they're available in our Discord as well. So we're heading through the arena section. We're not far from starting this race. It's a very short formation lap, but it means you've got to stick close to the drivers in front of you if you want to make sure you get a good start in these rolling starts here for this sprint race. We head round the final corner. Benji McCluskey will bring us to the line to start Season 9. Away we go. And all three lead us off. 4th and 5th are quite a way back, holding themselves back a little bit. But now we head down the main straight towards turn number 1. Benji McCluskey is going to go hard right here to make sure he covers the inside. Look at all the 50 plus cars heading down towards turn 1 here at Mexico City. Into turn 1 we go. So far so good. And as we head above and watch all the action, let's head back. Let's see if it's all clean at the moment. It seems to be pretty good at the moment. It concertinas up a little bit. Naturally it would through those two corners, but so far pretty clean from everyone. But let's take a look to the standings here. A couple of swapped positions already. Ben Alcher, biggest mover at the moment, he's up a few places, but Gaz Williams is off the track there, our host of the series, off on the side of the road, and he just has to wait for all the drivers to pass by so that he can get going again. We'll look at the replay shortly as we move on. Now it's a very good start for Lewis Mason. Good start for him, up 5 places, and he's right behind bronze category driver Ruiz Hernandez, and it's a big spin, and all the drivers swerve to avoid. He looked like he just could not control that. And more contact leads to a hit with the wall, and another driver getting collected. Oh no, and it's just collected more and more as he wasn't able to move on the inside there, and that's lots of drivers' races ruined. Will that be a call for a safety car? I'm not too sure. It might have. I think it has. Yes, we have got a full course yellow, which means drivers must go down to pit lane pace. They must put their pit limiter on, and they must wait for the track to clear before they can carry on. Now, that is why we have got live stewards, is so they can make a call straight away, and they can keep the track safe, and drivers are able to get themselves back out on the track. Now, Lewis Mason was at the source of the drama there, and it looked like the rear end just completely let go of him. Archie Bennett is in the pits taking repairs by the looks of it. Now, drivers do get a fast repair in these sprint races, and it means that he can get himself back out on the track and get back into the action. This might be a saving grace, actually, for Archie Bennett. And Paul Williams is also in the pits. Lewis Mason is in the pits, of course, as well. Still full course yellow. And we're green again. As soon as the steward calls green, they just floor it. And this is lap 2 now of the championship. Oh, and there's more drama here. That off the track is John Berry. He was pole sitter of the silver category, and he was collected in that instant just then. Now, as we get going, was he caught napping at all? Oh, by the looks of it, it might be the opposite. Oh, the drivers... No, John Berry just couldn't keep hold of it. Hit the sausage curb on the inside of turn number 1, sorry, and it just sent him around. And that is largely down to the track temperature. The car just can't grip like it can in the cold temperatures. Drivers have to be really careful on these curbs here. And the drivers have to warm the tyres back up as well. Now, Jason Raff has not had a good restart to this race. He is a long way back from Ben Altria in 7th position, and he's got a trail of cars behind him, including George Plaster. He's going to try and find a way past and into that 8th place. Takes the outside as Jason Raff is defending. Can't make a move, but behind, that's Jesse Payne-Wilkins and Kieran Davidson, but Davidson's off the track. Sideways through a little bit of contact there, and he reverses out the way of everyone, but that is game over, partially, for Davidson. Now, in first place of the bronze category is Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. Is mostly, from what we've seen, kept his nose out of trouble at the moment. He's first in category and 13th overall, and he's ahead of all silvers as well as all the bronzes. Jeffrey Kruger, first of the silver category. We're used to saying that. He's up there in the top spot right now for the silvers. We will eventually switch over to the category standings, because that is how they score their points. But further behind, that's Alan McCain taking a look at Elwin Sykes, but couldn't quite make it. 4th place at the moment for Alan McCain. Oh, and we've got Nigel Stock versus Klaas Vellen at the moment. And it was a class overtake there from Klaas Vellen to get himself up into 19th place. Side by side between Adam Wilson-Weir and Jesse Payne-Wilkins. Welcome back to the series, Jesse Payne-Wilkins, but he loses the place to Adam Wilson-Weir, and now they've got Gavin Gardner pressurising them. But back towards the front, it is Benji McCluskey who leads the way still, but right behind are the two Type 2 racing drivers of Jack Pittas and Harry Langford. Behind them also William Guthrie, who moved his way past Brandon Vincent-Squibb at the start of the race to 4th place. Got Stefan Vessels there as well. You look at this top 6, and if you are someone who's watched this series for a long time, you look at that top 6 and you think, my word, that is going to be some battle this season. At the moment, they are all so closely knit. Ben Altria hanging on to the back of this as well. He's got his teammate in this battle ahead of him as well. He's looking to help him out. Fastest lap of the race, it's Ben McCluskey at the moment. Starting this season as he meant to go on from last. Jeffrey Kruger pulling away a little bit from Wojciech Kurp at the moment. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez well and truly out there on his own at the moment in the bronze category. Doesn't need to get his elbows out too much, but having said that, Gaz Williams, the host of the series, has told me that drivers can be moved into other categories after round 1 if they feel they need to be moved. Of course, pre-season always different too when we're in the actual season, and drivers, based on certain cars they pick and certain tracks, might go quicker all of a sudden. And this is a battle for first place in the silver category. You just saw it there. Wojciech Kurp to the inside of Jeffrey Kruger. Couldn't quite complete the move, but into the hairpin here. Wojciech's going to dive to the inside, and Kruger tried to cover it off, but he couldn't. He couldn't make the move, could Kurp, and Kruger hangs onto it. It was a rather desperate defense from Kruger, but he's held on to it. So head through the S's, very tricky. Those corners must be in these high temperatures. You can see all of them taking very different lines to one another. What a wiggle of the car there from Wojciech Kurp. That's how difficult it is out there in these high temps. Alan McCain's looking for the inside of Elwyn Sykes. This will be for third place in silver category, and he's through. So now he can focus on 2 and 1 ahead of him, which is Wojciech Kurp and Jeffrey Kruger. Fast lap again for Benji McCluskey. It was a faster lap from Jack Pittas, but I believe it was an invalid lap. That's why it's not come up purple. Superb move there from Alan McCain, though. And I do just want to find what happened to Gaz Williams at the start of the race. We did say we were going to look at the replay, and I have to find said replay now. This might be it. This is heading into turns 4 and 5. Opening lap of the race. Gaz Williams right in the middle of our screen there. Oh, tiny contact between him and the... couldn't quite make out who it was, actually. But it was the Type 2 racing car. A tiny bit of contact on cold tyres has just sent them round. We've got swaps of positions here. This is Adam Wilson-Weir versus Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. Oh, contact between Wilson-Weir and Jason Raff. They keep going, but the silver category drivers catch up with them, and Wojciech Kurp, who's now past Jeffrey Kruger, they've all been held up. And it means they're now scuffling for position. Alan McCain is in third place, looking all around. Jeffrey Kruger, contact between the two of them, and Kruger spins. Cold tyres and the minimal bit of contact, potentially, I didn't quite see if it was, send him round on a slightly unsafe rejoin, but he's going to keep going. But he loses contention for the win of the race. It's now going to be between Wojciech Kurp, Alan McCain and Elwyn Sykes. Now I wonder if there was contact there between McCain and Jeffrey Kruger. Let's take a look here. Oh, there was a tiny hit at the rear there, and that's enough to just send round Jeffrey Kruger, and that'll be one for the stewards after. If not, they might already be looking into it. But Wojciech Kurp has an opportunity now to win this race. And let's just see if we can catch how he actually got past Jeffrey Kruger for that position initially. So this is heading out of turn 3, heading up towards turn 4. We're halfway through the race, by the way, so we've got 10 minutes to go in this race. This might... Well, that's a big diving move, actually, and all Jeffrey Kruger could do is just let Kurp through, because that was a big, big late break diving move from Kurp, potentially non-intentional. In fact, it must have been non-intentional. It must have been. And that's what led to Kruger having a miserable lap there. That's what led to the incident that followed with Alan McCain. So let's check on other categories. In the bronze category, no Ruiz Hernandez is leading, but in second place is Andrew Allen. And Josh Downing is in third place. Just behind him is Gabriel Papaconstantino and Stephen de Gravelia in fifth place. And there's a car off there. That is one of the CSA drivers. It was Davide Favo, who is a lap down anyway, but just keeping out of the way of the drivers. And the drivers will be concerned. They get a yellow flag on their screen, or crew chief tells them there's an incident up ahead. It just puts their backs up a little bit, particularly on a track like this where it's so difficult to manage the tyres and manage the grip. Andrew Allen is ahead of Klaas Vellen there, as we can see. He put a car between him and his rivals in the bronze category and will hold second place here for the time being. Fastest lap of the race at the moment is held by Harry Langford, who's now ahead of his teammates. This is how Harry Langford passed Jack Pittas. It looks like he was on the front straight. Was it a tactical swap of positions? Let's see if the drivers intentionally swap positions. Langford takes a look to the inside already. I think that was an intentional swap between the two. Langford will take the lead and he'll try and catch up to McCluskey. He has responded. He set fastest lap of the race, and that will get him a bonus point in this race. And he can try and hunt down Ben McCluskey. Pittas falls behind a little bit, but he has to deal with trying to defend that podium spot from William Guthrie now, who himself has gapped ahead of Stefan Vessels. And he's got Ben Altria to worry about, the other full tilt car to worry about now. As they move past some back markers. It's been a big shake-up of all the positions here. As William Guthrie has just moved past Jack Pittas. It looked like Jack Pittas had made a mistake there in the stadium section because he was hobbling across the curbs. So here we go, into the stadium section we go. There's Pittas. Okay there. Yeah, he loses the rear and he washes out wide. And it means William Guthrie just has to drive through the corners normally to get it in front. I've noticed the track limits are quite lenient on this track as well. We're seeing a lot of drivers go all fours over the white line, which on iRacing, it just depends on what iRacing allows you to do, really. There's no personal league rules about it. You can see how much they're cutting the inside curb there on turn 3. So that's something interesting about this circuit on iRacing now, as William Guthrie defends the inside from Jack Pittas. He may have made the move, but Jack Pittas will be looking to re-attack. He's also got Stefan Vessels to worry about behind him. What a performance in this race it has been from bronze category driver Ruiz Hernandez. Put him in gold category. But brilliant start to the championship for him. In bronze category currently, that's all he has to worry about here. That's all he has to do. He is 11th. So let's switch over to the category standings now, because that is how they score their points. That is the all-important thing we are watching in this championship. They will start in their category groups in the next race. It will be gold starting in one group at the front. Then a little bit further back will be the silvers in their group. And then a bit further back from them will be the bronzes in their group. So it does split out the grid quite a bit. Oh dear, as iRacing's having a little bit of a hissy fit at us there, as we're heading towards the 3/4 mark of this race. Ben McCluskey 1 second clear of Harry Langford behind. They're very, very close on times, but we can see that Ben McCluskey was slightly quicker on that last lap. Guthrie has gapped Jack Pittas a little bit, and he's got Stefan Vessels to worry about, and Ben Altria, who's on the outside heading into turn number 1. Ben Altria with an opportunity to get a slightly higher position in this race. Had a very good start, actually. Has moved up 5 places in this race to get to where he is right now, and is hounding the top dogs in this category. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Alan McCain is hunting down Wojciech Kurp. Now, Alan McCain will have the question mark over the result of this race due to the contact with Jeffrey Kruger. But that's something for him to deal with after the race. For now, he's just trying to focus on winning this race on the road. And he has got Wojciech Kurp to battle in the next 5 minutes for that. The bronze category, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez leads the race by a long way from fellow bronze category drivers, Andrew Allen. Now, Andrew Allen might think, although he's a newcomer to this series, he might not know the ropes just yet. He might well be thinking, well, if Hernandez moves up a category, that would effectively make this a race win for him as it stands. But he has got close rivalry from Joshua Downing right behind in the Acura. And then in the Corvette, Stephen de Gravelia behind in 4th. Gabriel Papaconstantino is here in 5th as well. Two drivers, ladies and gentlemen. I always love rounds. Oh no, that's Ruiz Hernandez. Oh dear, he does not want to be reversing there. Very well avoided from Elwyn Sykes there. Oh no, genuine reactions from me there. I know it's not real, but it sounds painful. But that'll be a lost positions, and out of the bronze category lead will go Ruiz Hernandez. And what we were mentioning just a moment ago about Andrew Allen, he might think there may be a win on the cards here through other circumstances. Well, Christmas has come true for him here. Well, Christmas has come early, shall I say, for him here. He is up into first place now. Now, the other drivers, that'll switch them on. They'll see a win in their sights. Josh Downing right behind there. Stephen DeGravelli has dropped off a little bit, but Josh Downing is the one that can threaten the lead of the bronze category now. At the front, Ben McCluskey and Harry Langford. It's down to less than a second between them. It doesn't mean anything in terms of DRS or any boosts or anything like that. But it does put McCluskey under a little bit of pressure. But if there's anyone who's dealt with pressure over the years, it's Ben McCluskey. He's had the number one on his door for many, many seasons. He's had it taken off him many, many times. He knows how to deal with these races. Harry Langford, always quick, always at the front. The win sometimes eludes him, but he's always up there. He's always threatening the top of the championships. Big battles going on in these categories. We've got third place battle here. William Guthrie at the front of them. He's gone to defend the inside. He moves away back to the outside for breaking into turn number one. He's held off Jack Pittas at the moment. He wants the podium spot. He wants the points in the championship. We have got Wojciech Kurp and Alan McCain facing off against each other. And it's all movement in the bronze category as well. Moving down the order is Andrew Allen. He's down to fourth place. Something has happened to him. It means that Josh Downing has moved up to first place and Stephen DeGravelli into second place. This is straight up between them, but you know what? If anything happens to them, Ruiz Hernandez could take back the win of this race. I think there's 2 laps to go. I haven't seen the white flag be waved on the gantry, so 2 laps left in this race. Plenty of time for the battles to commence between these leaders. It is Wojciech Kurp at the front of the Silvers. Alan McCain right behind him. Oh, and that wasn't a good ride to the curb there through the corner. He is safe, though. Alan McCain hasn't capitalised on that. Porsche versus Mercedes. But in the bronze category, it's Acura versus Corvette. Currently Josh Downing going to win this race at the moment, but in the gold category it's still battle on for the gold win as iRacing has a little bit of a paddy at us yet again. But Jack Pittas, he stretched away from Stefan Wessels, and that is the white flag waved. We do start the final lap. Ben McCluskey in the lead of this race starts his final lap and gets off to a victorious start to this season, potentially. A black flag you can see on the timing tower there for Papa Constantino, but the battle for fifth place overall here and in gold category is Ben Altries to the inside of Stefan Wessels. Still side by side as they head through turn number 2. Wessels will hang on to that left side. He'll have in the inside for the next corner, but if Ben Altries can hold that line, contact between the two, if Ben Altries can hold that line, he'll have the inside for turn number 5, which is the better line to have. But no, Stefan Wessels gets it back in front. Moving out to the outside is Ben Altries. He's going to hold the outside to head into the hairpin. He had a much better run out the corner. There was a little bit of contact, but Ben Altries will have the inside for the next corner. Brilliant move from Ben Altries to complete that. It took a while, but he's got it. He's into 5th place, and that's good points at the moment for the Full Tilt team, where category points go towards your team championship. But it's business as usual for Benji McCluskey. A little bit threatened by Harry Langford in this race, but it's going to be another win for Benji McCluskey to add to his record and an early lead in this championship for the defending champion in gold category. The notorious Benji McCluskey wins round 1, race 1 of this championship. Langford is second for his new team, Type 2 Racing, and William Guthrie will come through in 3rd place. Ben Altries will hang on to 5th place as well from Stefan Wessels, but to the silver category, half a second between them still, but I don't think Alan McCain is close enough or has enough opportunities now to make a move unless Wojciech Kurp makes any mistake at the end here. And this drama in the bronze category I've just seen, we'll go to that very shortly, but Wojciech Kurp wins the silver category in the opening race of the season. Alan McCain finishes second position. And Elwyn Sykes will come through for third place in his first race in silver category. Round the final corner for our bronze victor, Joshua Downing, I think his first ever win in the bronze category in Next Gen Racing. And Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, he had it in his hands and it's just falling away from him. Andrew Allen in third place as well. A brilliant debut for him. He did have a little bit of drama that dropped him down the order, but it's still a podium for him. And Stephen de Gravelia was second place. He's dropped down the order. He's had an incident. Oh, you can see here. That's the recovery from it. And there's another one. So he was in second place. And on the final lap, it's just given way on him. Oh, he hits the curb and that's it. Oh, he'll be absolutely gutted. But if he can get back in for the next race, he'll start close up the top. And he'll have a brilliant opportunity to put some points and right some wrongs in that race. But a real exciting opening race of the championship and of the night. We await the feature race, which will be coming up next. We'll have a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll come back with the feature race. It will start at approximately 9:10 if you want to come back for that time. But our victors are Benji McCluskey in the gold category, silver category is Wojciech Kurp, and Joshua Downing, the bronze category. We'll go to the results, the classified results of each category very, very shortly. What an interesting race to start us off there. That was so much fun to watch. And, of course, for the feature race later on, we have got... the drivers will start in their groups, represented by their class. So gold drivers in their group will start at the front, and then the silver group will start next, a little bit after, and then the bronze category will start in their group a little bit after that. And it will be reverse grid, based on these results we are going to see. So the winner of each category will start at the back of their category for the feature race. Makes it all the more exciting. So let's go through the results. In the gold category, it is Benji McCluskey who takes the win by just over a second from Harry Langford. William Guthrie in third position, followed by Jack Pittas and Ben Altra with a late move on Stefan Vessels to take that fifth place. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, seventh place for him, and he was contending in that top five for a majority of the race. Seventh for him, with George Plaster in 8th position, Gavin Gardner in 9th, and Jesse Payne-Wilkins rounds off the top 10. Outside the top 10 are Jason Raff, Adam Wilson-Weir, Phil McDougall, Gaz Williams, Archie Bennett, Kieran Davidson, and Klaas Vellen. Silver category, and it is a win for Wojciech Kurp in this category by just over half a second from Alan McCain in second place. 9 seconds down is Elwyn Sykes on his debut in the silver category, with Nigel Stock in 4th position. Sean Shute in 5th position, with Mark Baker in 6th. Wesley Lowe in 7th, followed by teammate Jeffrey Kruger, who led the early part of this race. Matthew Addy in 9th position, followed by Stephen Fry, who recovers to 10th place after drama on lap 1. Paul Williams in 11th position, followed by John Berry in 12th, Ryan Blackwell in 13th, Stein Vaitens 14th, Joby Siemens in 15th, Rob Savage 16th, Zara McGuinness in 17th, and a DNF for Neil Forbes. Bronze category now, it's a win, and I believe, a first ever win in the Next Gen Racing GT3 for Josh Downing in bronze category. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez drove a brilliant race until towards the end, where it fell away on the final corner for some reason or another, but it's second place in bronze category in the end. Andrew Allen in 3rd position, followed by Jonas Anderson in 4th, Joseph Wright in 5th position, Andy Rooney, welcome back to the Series 2, Andy, who had a season off last season. 6th place for him, with Lillian Sinclair in 7th position, Leslie Brazil in 9th position, Lewis Mason in 9th, followed by Yaroslav Pataluk, who rounds off the top 10. Just behind him in the timings was Jochen Siegert, Gabriel Papaconstantino, who was in the top 5 for the majority of the race. Something happened to him to drop him down the order. Stephen de Gravelia 13th, Sammy Arab 14th, Matt Gatta 15th, Fabian Koziolek in 16th, and Davide Favo in 17th. This has been round 1 of the Championship, the GT3 Season 9. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for Race 2 very, very shortly.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, welcome back everyone to NXTGEN Racing TV live on YouTube and live on Facebook. You rejoin us for the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Championship Season 9, and it is our opening round of the season here from the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez, the Mexico City Grand Prix racing circuit. And, of course, this is being round one of the championship. Next week, we're straight back into the action here on Thursday nights. On the 26th of March, we're back. We're heading south to South America for the second round of the championship at Interlagos. And then round three, only a week later, we're on our first of three endurance rounds of the championship, which will take place at the Road America circuit. Round four, there'll be a week off between rounds 3 and 4. But we come back for round 4 at the Aragon circuit in northeast Spain. And then round 5 of the championship, to see us out of the first half of the championship, will be the Hockenheim Ring. We rejoin round 6 with, well, the Green Hell. And it will be hell to rejoin after a week off for that round 6 at the Nürburgring, the full Nürburgring layout as well. And then round 7 of the championship will be hosted at my home circuit, Silverstone, and the home circuit of many of the drivers in this championship. Round 8 will be hosted at Monza in Italy, with round 9 hosted at the Canadian Tire motorsport circuit. And then the final round of the championship, another 2-hour endurance to end the season at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. That will take place on the 4th of June. So, quite an interesting race one. Our race winners were Benji McCluskey, Wojciech Kurp, and in the bronze category was Josh Downing. So let's see what happens in this race. We will have a very different race, shall we say. It's 1 hour to start off with, and it will be a different style of grid. So it'll still be a rolling start, but each category, each class, gold, silver and bronze, will be separated out and put into groups, and they'll start separately. The golds will start first, then the silvers will start a little bit later on, and then the bronzes will start a little bit later on. But what will be different is they'll all start based on the results of the previous race. We just had the sprint race, but it will be reversed. So if you won your category in the sprint race, you'll start at the back of the category for this race coming up, the feature race. So you've got to make your way back through the grid to get yourself back to the top. And it normally makes for some very, very exciting racing, and it means you have to utilise strategy, using the pits, getting the best opportunity to go in the pits and take on some fuel, or even tyres if you dare risk it, because the tyres do take a little bit longer if you pit stop to put them on, but some drivers might actually do that on a track like this tonight, where the high temperatures are really affecting grip out there. We saw lots of drivers really lose it, loads of drivers spinning and losing control, and even the minimal amount of contact with another car just sent the car sideways out there. And there's a lot of drivers who suffered with that out there, and it meant for some very dramatic losses at the lead and losses of position and changes in the results. Made the sprint race very unpredictable, in fact. So we'll see what happens in this next race. Now, something I want to, speaking from experience, from what I've seen of the previous feature races, William Guthrie in the gold category was always very, very good in last season of moving through the pack, as that is not exemplar of what he did last season. But look out for him, because he is normally very good at getting through the packs in these feature races. But here we go, we're going to grid up for the second race of the night, the feature race. And we'll start off with the gold category. So Class Velen will start at the front of this grid. Come on, SDK. There we go. Klaas Vellen will start at the front of the gold category, followed by Kieran Davidson. Archie Bennett in third position, followed by Gaz Williams, who had drama in the early part of race 1. Phil McDougall in fifth position, followed by Adam Wilson-Weir. Jason Raff seventh, followed by Jesse Payne-Wilkins, and Gavin Gardner in ninth. 10th is George Plaster. Brandon Vincent-Squibb in 11th, with Stefan Vessels behind. 13th will be Ben Oucher, with Jack Pittas in 14th. William Guthrie will start 15th, with Harry Langford and Benji McCluskey rounding off the group of the golds. Starting first in the silver category will be Zara McGuinness from Robert Savage alongside her. Yobi Siemens in third position with Stein Vatens in fourth. Ryan Blackwell in fifth with John Berry in sixth. Paul Williams will start seventh with Stephen Fry in eighth position. Matthew Addy ninth from Jeffrey Kruger, who led a lot of the sprint race, so look out for him in this race. Mark Baker in 11th with Sean Shute in 12th position. Nigel Stock and Elwyn Sykes will line up 13th and 14th with Alan McCain and Wojciech Kurt, the top two from the sprint race, starting on that 8th row. And then at the back of the grid will be Neil Forbes and Wesley Lewin. Davide Fava will start at the front of the bronze category grid with Fabian Koziolek in second. Matt Gatter third from Sami Araba in fourth. Stephen de Gravelia in fifth with Gabriel Papaconstantino in sixth position. Jochen Seeger in seventh position with Yaroslav Pataluk in eighth. Lewis Mason 9th with Leslie Brazil in 10th. Lillian Sinclair in 11th, followed by Andy Rooney in 12th position. 13th will be Joseph Wright with Jonas Anderson in 14th position. Andrew Allen 15th with Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 16th. And the winner of race 1 will be Josh Downing, starting at the very back of this massive grid we've got here. 52 drivers on the grid. And here is the track we are racing tonight, the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez in Mexico City. High altitude on this circuit, which means the aerodynamics of the car are greatly exaggerated. And it means that certain cars get huge benefits on the main straight. And we have seen that in the first race. I've heard drivers talking about that, actually, in the interval. So we'll see what happens in this race where drivers get split up amongst their grids. And strategy comes into play as well. We are just waiting for the final drivers to join the grid so we can get ourselves going for this feature race. Remember, the golds will move off first. And then about 5 to 10 seconds later, the silvers will start. And then about 5 to 10 seconds after that, the bronze will start in their group. Klaas Vellen will lead us off from the gold category. And a very short formation lap, as we mentioned, pretty much as soon as the bronze category drivers start, the bronze drivers will not be that much further than where they are right now. It does mean that the bronze drivers are at risk of being lapped by the gold drivers earlier. It does put them at that risk. But with this big grid, these things are going to happen. Okay, so let's join our drivers as we start this race. It's the gold category that's going to go first. Klaas Vellen and Kieran Davidson will lead us to the line, and we will start the race with them. We must wait until the lights go green, and then we can get going. At the start of this race, Klaas Vellen is much further ahead in this, but he is maintaining the right speed. And now we're underway for the start of this race. It was actually a bad getaway by Klaas Vellen, and Kieran Davidson and Archie Bennett are gaining on them a little bit as we head down to turn number 1. Zara McGuinness leads us off in the silver category to start their race, and as we wait for the bronze category, let's observe the golds heading into turn number 1 at the back. There's movement around there as we're 3 wide all the way through the grid here, and now they assemble into 2 wide as they head through the chicane. Now back to the silver category. Zara McGuinness leads into turn number 1, a big dive to the inside from John Berry, and he puts himself into second place as a result of that big dive. Now for the bronze category, Stephen de Gravelia takes an early lead here. He's zapped ahead of everyone else as we head down to turn number 1. Threatened a little bit by Sami Araba as we head into that first corner. The tyres are nice and cold at the moment. That will benefit the drivers at this point. But it's when they heat up at the high temperatures, that's when things get more worrying. Oh, and there's contact further back in the bronze category. I think that's Jochen Siegert who was collected there. It might have been Fabian Kozielek and Wesley Lewin, actually. Let's just see what happens here. Oh, there is contact and a bumper gone already. And I think there's more contact after. Yep, there it is. Fabian Kozielek moves around. I think that was contact with Wesley Lewin. But we continue. Kieran Davidson takes an early lead here. Klaas Vellen has dropped to third place. Biggest movers of the category at the moment. William Guthrie, as we predicted, is moving his way through the pack. And Ben McCluskey is not too far behind, actually. It's something that McCluskey prides himself on. He just takes his time moving through the order and gets himself up the pack as the race goes by. He doesn't do it too early. Zara McGuinness leads in the silver category from John Berry behind. Teammates, not in the same team, but they are teammates nonetheless, racing for Type 2 Racing, who have renamed themselves from Mission R to Type 2 Racing. And I mean, Type 2, those guys change their team name probably as often as, well, Type 2 people take insulin, I suppose. But it's another new team name, and it's another new leader in this race. John Berry takes the lead from Zara McGuinness into first place. Yopi Siemens behind, threatening them for that podium spot. Movement in the gold category. Steph Vessels moves past Jason Raff, his teammate. And back here, the top two in the previous race. Harry Langford is trying to move past Ben McCluskey, and he does so here. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, I spoke to Stephen de Gravellier after the race, and he was absolutely gutted, but he had a laugh about it. He said, you know what, it is what it is. Let's move on to the next race. He was looking quick in that first race, and he's at the moment in the lead of this race. He'll be laser focused on getting it to the end of this one. But it's not a 20-minute race here. And he made it about 19 minutes through race one. This is now a 60-minute race. So these drivers have got to be laser focused on making sure they get their cars to the end and manage those tyres. Ben Altria to the inside of... no, that's William Guthrie on the inside of Jack Pittas, actually, as they head through the stadium section. Side by side, and it's so tight through there in these GT3 cars. You rarely saw the Formula 1 cars go side by side in that section of the circuit, but these GT3s are managing that. That's Guthrie versus Pittas as we head down the main straight here. We've also got Stefan Vessels taking a look at George Plaster up ahead. Stefan Vessels is still on the inside, you can see there, and he's moved his way past George Plaster for that spot. And Ben Altria is also trying to make a move on Ben Altria. Ben Altria has made a move, but dropping down there is Klaas Vellen. He's dropped out of the track. Will we be able to see how that happened? This Klaas Vellen heading into turn number one on his billy a little bit here. But he was third place at this point. Oh, hits the curb too much and it turns around. And the tyres are still a little bit cool. But he drops out of contention here. Just caught the end of Brandon Vincent-Squibb moving past Gavin Gardner for first place. Silver category. Stein Vatens is a name I'm going to keep an eye on in the silver category, because he was super quick in the end of the season last season in the bronze category. I'm keen to see how he gets on here. In the bronze category, drivers moving up the order. Josh Downing and Ruiz Hernandez battling here. They were 1 and 2 in the previous race. They didn't battle really in that race, but they're battling now in this race as they try and move up the order in bronze category. There's a bit of damage on the front of Ruiz Hernandez's car, the Mustang. The bonnet is a bit crunched up there. That won't be helping things. But in front goes Josh Downing. The race one winner is up to 8th place in category and can progress towards the top as this race goes by. Meanwhile, back to the gold category. Steph Vessels and William Guthrie are the biggest movers. 5 places gained for them at the moment. And Stefan Vessels is not messing around. He's trying to move to the inside of Phil McDougall, who moves up to gold category from silvers last season. But also, William Guthrie, Ben Altria working together to pass George Plaster here. As Guthrie and Altria trying to get their way through, but it's contact. Plaster's turned around by Ben Altria. But I saw it. Ben Altria understeered a little bit heading out of turn number 3, and he just had nowhere to go except into the side of George Plaster. And he drops down the order out of contention. It would be one the stewards look at after to see if anyone really was at fault for that. We're not one to adjudicate here too much. But that means that other drivers move up a position. Ben McCluskey and Harry Langford, still nose to tail, have moved up the order, and William Guthrie has dropped down as a result of that. He's back down to 13th and back behind Ben McCluskey. So it sets him back from his normal progression he's so good at in these feature races. This has set him back. Back to the bronze category. Is getting closer between this top 3. Sammy Araba is right behind Stephen de Grevellia, and Lewis Mason's not too far behind as well. Stephen de Grevellia still holds this race in the Corvette. He's followed by the Mustang of Sammy Araba, then the Audi, the only Audi in the field, Lewis Mason. Kieran Davidson still leads at the top. He's 2 seconds clear, so he's opened up a lead in the gold category. Very good start to this race for him. Race 1 winner in the silver category. Wojciech Kurp is a long way down, 18th place and a long way down the order. He has lost a lot of positions, and it might not be a repeat of the race 1 win. Stefan Vessels moves past Phil McDougall for 6th place, and Ben Altria is trying to follow suit. Ben Altria has won multiple races in the gold category. My most memorable win of him, I would say, was Sebring a couple of seasons ago in the endurance rounds. Excuse me, it was actually a feature race. I stand corrected. But that's the win I always remember, because he did it in tremendous fashion as well, holding on to the lead in front of McCluskey to the end, taking his win. There's a battle going on in silver category. Look at this. That's Stephen Fry on the inside of Rob Savage. And behind, that's Ryan Blackwell versus Alan McCain. Alan McCain being the 2nd place sitter in the previous race, so he's got an opportunity, if he gets a good place here, to take the lead of the championship tonight. But he moves into 9th place here, past Ryan Blackwell and his teammate up ahead, who might be able to help him out. Oh, it was a good exit there for Rob Savage, but he's not able to get it back to the inside of Stephen Fry. Alan McCain might be able to help him out a little bit, and then they can work together to try and catch up with the top spots of silver category. Top spots right now, though. John Berry, 2-second lead from teammate Zara McGuinness, leads the way. John Berry was a multiple race winner last season in the bronze category, and probably could have been a championship contender if he attended more rounds. But always quick in the bronze category, is fast-tracked up to silver category now. And so far, so good in this feature race. Matthew Addy, long-time next-gen racing driver. Some reason has the team name Virtual Circuit Racing, but he's actually a next-gen driver. We'll find why that's happened next time, but for now, he definitely is a next-gen driver, rest assured. He has been racing with Next Gen Racing a long time. I remember it racing with him on Race Room, another sim featuring a lot of touring cars. So it is the part of the race where everyone gets divvied out a little bit and they try and settle down into a rhythm. They focus on the tyres and they focus on how they're performing and what they need to do for the last part of the race. Now, what we have seen in this series, season in, season out, is that going long on fuel is usually the best thing to do. It means that you have less time in your pit box to fill up with fuel. You need less fuel because there's less laps to go. Therefore, that gets you the benefit of the pits, because the fuel tanks do fill up really slowly in these cars, actually. Lewis Mason now in second place behind Stephen de Grevellia, who did have, Lewis Mason that is, a much better line through that corner. He's now right behind Stephen de Grevellia as we head to the stadium section. Excuse me. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Jeffrey Kruger, who had an opportunity to win the previous race, up to 6th place at the moment. And close between 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th in category. Jopi Siemens at the head of that battle. Let's check it back in with the silver category. Harry Langford has moved up some positions. He's in front of his teammate Jack Pittas, similar to what happened in race 1. But Jack Pittas can probably focus on holding up Benji McCluskey here as William Guthrie, a bit of a nudge of the rear of Ben McCluskey there, and side by side between Phil McDougall and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, both who battled ferociously last season in the silver category. They're now both in the gold category, but Harry Langford in a good spot here. He's ahead of a lot of his rivals from the previous race. He can focus on getting up ahead and catching the other drivers up ahead. Stefan Vessels is one of the biggest mover of the gold category. He's up to 6th place. He can focus on the drivers ahead and try and get potentially a win under his belt tonight. It's looking very good at the moment for Vessels, but we've got a strong contingent of drivers up ahead. Davidson leads by 2 seconds, but it's a further 5 seconds for them, for him and Archie Bennett in 2nd place. They are 5 seconds clear of Gaz Williams at the moment, who is close with Adam Wilson Weir on track. But it all changes as the track gets hotter, the tyres get tired, and the pit stops come into play. And there is a movement in the bronze category. Steve de Gravelia has lost 1st place to Lewis Mason. And this is how Lewis Mason did it. Again, good line through the S's compared to Steve de Gravelia, who seems to be taking more shallow lines through the corners. It means that Lewis Mason has got better exits, and it did here. He makes the move as they enter the stadium section. And he takes the lead of the bronze category now. Can Stephen de Gravelia respond? Also behind is Joseph Wright, fellow commentator, racing for NXTGEN Racing. He's in the BMW, I think the only BMW of the field. That's the car I've driven most of these GT3s. Very fond memories in that BMW for me. Very bad ones as well. But let's see how my fellow commentator gets on here. He commentates on the GR86 Championship at NXTGEN Racing. And it's not uncommon that commentators from other series take part in other series as drivers rather than commentators. We had Paul Walsh a few seasons ago take part in season 7, I believe it was, in the Mustang. And Paul Walsh has come on leaps and bounds as a commentator since then. He's taken on commentary as a full-time career now. And I've said it before, but the absolute best of luck to him. A very good commentator, a very lovely guy. And I hope he gets the career he deserved. Likewise with Joseph Wright, that's what he's going for as well. But I always say, to be a good commentator, you've got to be a good racer as well. You've got to know what's going on as well. And that's what Joseph Wright is doing. He's getting involved in the racing. He's learning a bit more about it. It means he learns a bit more for his commentary. That's what we all like to do. Fastest lap of the race at the moment, in the gold category anyway, is held by Harry Langford. Now he's got a bit of open air, he can focus on the good lap times, and the tyres are at a good pace right now. Track temperature is 35 degrees, it's still relatively cool at the moment. It's not by no means cool, but it is a lot better than it looked like earlier on in the sprint race, where we didn't actually check what the temperature did get up to in that race. Now Alan McCain is on the move, 2nd place in the previous race. He's up to 7th place right now. He's passed his teammate, and that, when you pass your teammate and the teammate is behind, and you get a little bit of satisfaction in it that you think they can hold up the other drivers and protect you. It goes a long way in this series, having those allies for teammates. John Berry's having a very good race here. He's 2 seconds clear, and there's a couple of gold drives between himself and his teammates, Aaron McGuinness. And between them, there's 5 seconds to 3rd place. So this is looking very good for Type 2 on their debut. They had a win in the opening race of the night by Josh Downing. But for their team, wasn't a debut win. It was business as usual as they renamed from Mission R. Now, there are pit stops already happening. In the pits then, I saw William Guthrie has jumped to the pits. What on earth has happened to William Guthrie? Hang on a minute. This is William Guthrie. He's disappeared. Okay, so here he is. He's about to go into the pits. Okay, then he heads into the box. Okay, he's back in the car. He's escaped that again. Or the car's disappeared again. I got a feeling something terrible has happened to William Guthrie, potentially a disconnection. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll see if I can keep an eye on that. But that's really bad news for William Guthrie if that's what's happened. Really unfortunate as well. I certainly hope that's not the case and it's just iRacing having a little bit of a hissy fit at us. But the point was, before that happened, is there are early stops happening already. Phil McDougall went into the pits as well, so did Gavin Gardner. So some people making calls already to head into the pits. I wonder what that will be due to. Rising tyre temperatures, but if anything, is that going to help? Or they're just trying to get out of the traffic, get some clean air in. He might rejoin the track and might be in open air. Here's Phil McDougall now. I would say he's approaching traffic and not in clear air at the moment. There's bronze drivers in front. We're around about, and I would say we normally get pit stops at about the 25-minute mark. He'll probably catch these drivers by the time those pit stops roll around. We will see. We will see. That's what makes these feature races so interesting, is strategy comes into play. The sprint races are just chaotic and exciting and quick and fast racing, whereas these feature races just get a little bit more tactical. Okay, so this bronze category, it's an absolute crocodile of cars right up until, I would say, 9th place. Josh Downing, all them cars we could see in view there were bronze category drivers. As we see Lewis Mason to the inside of Erwin Sykes. That was risky from the leader of bronze category, but he's under pressure. He's got all the bronze category drivers behind him. He wants to get past these silver category drivers that he feels he's quicker than. And look at that, Stephen de Crivelli is all over the rear of Lewis Mason now, as Mason's trying to find the way past silver category driver, and that's a spin from Ryan Blackwell we just saw going off the track there. And they nearly collected Lewis Mason, de Crivelli and Erwin Sykes, who is struggling here by the looks of it. All the bronze category drivers trying to find their way past him. Something's going on with Sykes. This meant he's much slower than all of these drivers, and they're just scurrying to get around him. Another one goes by. That's Joseph Wright to get by Erwin Sykes. But Mason has hung on to the lead despite all that. But Stephen de Crivelli is still within touching distance. And in 3rd place is Gabriel Papaconstantino. He is a multiple bronze category race winner. And if he gets a sniff at victory, he's going to try and take it. Jonas Andersson here, debut for him tonight. Likewise with Joseph Wright behind. But Jonas Andersson on his debut, good so far in 4th place in this bronze category. Question from Lee Horner. When am I racing again? Never. Never. You're not getting me back out on track. Who knows? Who knows is the answer to that. I have thought about taking part in this championship, I must be honest. But I just know I would suck. This bronze category battle across the top. Well, 9. It is super, super close. And Erwin Sykes still throwing the cat amongst the pigeons here. And look, outside, inside of him. Oh, and gets turned around with a car on his inside. And that's it for Erwin Sykes. And another driver. That's Matt Gatter, who's been turned around. Oh, and up ahead, that's Josh Downing, the sprint race winner, who spun around after that. So that's really, really affected him here. His momentum tonight was looking good, and he's dropped down 9th place and a lot of time behind the top 8 now. But someone who has crept back into the picture is Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. Led the majority of race 1, was outright leader and outright pace setter, but a spin hampered his progress. 7th place for him at the moment. He's looking okay in this race despite the damage at the front of the car. Will all change when pit stops start to happen. Oh, and there's a car stuck on the pit lane there. That's Neil Forbes stuck there. And it's such a difficulty to try and get it going on such difficult parts of the track like that, where you've got to reverse it back onto the track. Hopefully you can get it going again. There's quite a trail of cars here battling for 4th place. Jopi Siemens at the head of them. Now look at this. This is Matthew Addy, Alan McCain, Stephen Fry, and Sean Shute battling for these positions. That's Matthew Addy to the inside of Alan McCain. But round the outside, Alan McCain goes. He's in front. 5th place for him. Oh, and dive into the inside goes Stephen Fry on Matthew Addy. Addy relinquishes a little bit. Gives a bit of room. But we'll have the better line for the next corner, will Matthew Addy. I will see if I can change his team name very quickly here as we watch the action. Like magic. So yeah, Alan McCain really on the move here. He's certainly been one of the standout drivers in silver category tonight with a 2nd place in the sprint race. And the incident between him and Jeffrey Kruger earlier on in the sprint race, he said to me in the interval off air that there was netcode involved, which that name notorious on iRacing. It basically is contact between cars when there's no actual physical contact between cars. It's a nightmare, and they've never fixed it. Never been able to fix it in all the years that I've been racing iRacing. Now, Adam Wilson-Weir here in 4th place. He has got the charging bull of Stefan Vessels behind him, 5th place. He's got a podium position in his sights, and he's got all his rivals who will rival him for the championship this season. The likes of Harry Langford, Jack Pittas, Ben McCluskey, all are behind him. A long way behind as well, and he can focus on getting into these higher positions. But there's a long way between Gaz Williams and 1st place. 10 seconds actually, maybe slightly more than that actually. Bad exit from that corner from Adam Wilson-Weir. Stefan Vessels takes the outside, will take a late cut apex, and then again might be able to get it to the inside for the last corner. He hugs it tight, and Adam Wilson-Weir takes a long line round the outside. Stefan Vessels executes that rather well, but it's not over quite yet. But does that Mustang have the upper hand of pace? Not quite, actually. Head into turn 1, Stefan Vessels is later on the brakes and he gets it back in front. Adam Wilson-Weir drops to 5th place, but Stefan Vessels up to 4th. He's dropped off a little bit from Gaz Williams as a result of that. Back here we got the 2 full tilt drivers, Jesse Payne-Wilkins and Ben Altria working together here. Ben Altria is having a really good round here, it must be said. There's no surprise by that, of course not. But this is a really good round from Ben Altria. He was contending with the front runners in the sprint race, and he's far up the order right here. Let's head back to this battle for 4th position. So that was Klaas Vellen off on the side there. Jopi Siemens still heads this 5-way battle for 4th place in silver category. Alan McCain hasn't found a way past just yet. It's close between 2nd and 3rd in bronze. Stephen de Crivelli has dropped off a little bit from Lewis Mason, but Gabriel Papaconstantino is pressuring. There they are, as they head down the straight between turns 3 and 4. Taking a look to the inside goes the Lamborghini of Papaconstantino, and he's through into 2nd place. Well executed move there from the Aztec Racing driver. Can de Crivelli respond? At the moment, it's not looking like. Gabriel Papaconstantino, as I said earlier, if he gets a sniff at a bronze category win, he will try and take it. Back to this battle, close between McCain and Siemens. Now pit stops will be coming up very shortly, if not now, and I can hear the buzzer going in the pit lane, and I think our leaders are in the pits. No, they're not quite yet. My timing tower playing tricks on me there. There are drivers in the pits though. We've got Matthew Addy in the pits, so he was stuck behind Alan McCain and Jopi Siemens, so he might be attempting an undercut here. So might Stephen Fry, actually. There's some of the only drivers in here at the moment. Robs, Matthew Addy's in the pits, Stephen Fry. I don't think there's many other drivers in the pits. That was Wojciech Kurp heading back out on track. So drivers going for an early stop here to attempt an undercut. Jeffrey Kruger has put in some good laps here, and Zara McGuinness has dropped off 10 seconds behind John Berry, but still holding well in second position and a long way clear of the battle for fourth. But Jeffrey Kruger is closing in, and Jeffrey Kruger probably could have won race one, but potential contact between him and Alan McCain affected things. Now, I just said on my screen a crash from Jack Pittas, but he looks uncrashed. This is going into the stadium section. That's Ben McCluskey behind. Oh, it is. It's a spin. Oh, my word. And a quick getaway after that, but it does mean it drops him off a few places behind. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. We have had drama in the silver category. Oh my word, it's all kicked off in the silvers. Alan McCain and Jopi Siemens have come together by the look of it. We're surrounded by two CSA drivers here. Now we head into the stadium section. What happens? Oh, it's a big dive from McCain. Oh dear. Jopi Siemens won't be happy about that, and it loses a lot of positions, and it will put Alan McCain at risk of a penalty. So now he decides to pull the trigger and go into the pits. But it will mean that Matthew Addy and Stephen Fry will break away from him and Jopi Siemens, which will help them in a bid for the podium, maybe. There goes Stephen Fry. Matthew Addy is a bit further behind, so the pit stop probably hasn't worked out for him. Stephen Fry, the doors have opened up. He will be able to progress into fourth place as Wesley Lewin, Jopi Siemens, and Alan McCain will rejoin quite far behind Stephen Fry. Not to be confused with the comedian, I do keep saying that. Season we have Stephen Fry in the series. No moves yet from Stefan Vessels for the top three, but we are only halfway through this race. But it is going to be a long stretch for him to be able to get into first and second place. As Kieran Davidson and Archie Bennett, fair play to them, they've had their heads down and they've just gunned it to open up the lead in these gold category here. Likewise with John Berry in the silver category, 12-second lead now. And it's super close between Zara McGuinness and Jeffrey Kruger as we head into turn number one. And there is the move from Jeffrey Kruger to take second place. He's through. So now comes the big battle for Jeffrey Kruger to claw back 12 seconds if he can on John Berry. Both John Berry and Jeffrey Kruger are graduates from the bronze category. Jeffrey Kruger is a previous champion in the bronze category, but John Berry has finished runner-up in the bronze category in the past. That was the season where Alden Wilson-Weir dominated the bronze category, which fast-tracked him all the way from bronze category immediately to the golds. As you can see, him still there in the gold category now in 6th. But these drivers who have come from the Mission R and Quatermass backgrounds have come on strides in this series over the years and over the season. And these drivers are just examples of that. So I did say around about the 25-minute mark we'll get some pit stops, but we haven't actually had that many so far. We do normally get it around 25 minutes, but things might have changed. In the interval between Season 8 and Season 9, we had quite a lot of months off, actually. We do normally have quite a few months off between the series. When they come back, they truly are exciting and quick, back-to-back, week-by-week racing. So as we turn our attention here in gold category, it's Ben McCluskey right behind Harry Langford, the two of which were locked in a battle in race 1. Ben McCluskey has clawed back the time to catch up with Harry Langford. This is what Ben McCluskey does. He's a very quiet assassin in these feature races. He takes his time getting through the crowds, but that's what he does. He's able to get through the crowds. He's so quick on raw pace. So is Harry Langford. And we are seeing a lot of bronze drivers actually in the pits now. Steve de Gravelia and Sammy Araba are in the pits. Not yet seeing the gold drivers heading to the pits. They're able to take these tanks a lot longer than I thought they were gonna. Still leading this race, Kieran Davidson by 6 seconds from Archie Bennett in second place, and he leads by he has that second place by 6 seconds from Gaz Williams, who's currently holding up Stefan Vessels. It's got quite dark here at Mexico City. Rain? Probably not. Paul Williams versus Sean Shute. This is for 4th place. That looks like Paul Williams making his way past, but they'll continue to battle in the stadium section. To the inside, go Sean Shute. Back through and into 4th place. And he hangs on to it. Fastest lap of the race for Gabriel Papaconstantino. 1 second behind Lewis Mason. Hammer down for Papaconstantino. Like I said, if he gets a sniff at a win, he takes it. There could be a good battle between him and Lewis Mason on the cards here. We will eagerly await that. Still waiting for drivers to head into the pits, and there's a lot of lap traffic now for these gold categories. These are some of the silver category drivers that have already pitted, but Kieran Davidson is negotiating his way around, trying to anyway. This is Wesley Lewin and Nigel Stock just ahead. Joseph Wright stopped counting my laps, had to quit, really frustrated from the top 5. Unlucky Joseph. Hopefully see... Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa, and somehow Kieran Davidson made it through there. Relatively clean, minor contact. But my word, that was close. Wesley Lewin, sideways, going through turn number 4. That was a close one for Kieran Davidson. In the back, we did see a Porsche sideways. I think that was Alan McCain there. And Alan McCain has pitted, I believe. Oh, no, I don't think he has, actually. Has pitted, yes, lap 16. Yeah, he came into the pits immediately after the contact between him and Jopi Siemens. I remember now. A few more drivers in the pits now. Paul Williams, Luis Hernandez, Sean Shute, Rob Savage It is getting towards that time, and there we go. The leader of the gold category is now in the pits. This is a crucial time in the race for the gold category. Kieran Davidson needs to get this stop right if he wants to win this race still. He's got the lead. He's done a lot of the hard work already. But yes, back to the comments. Joe Wright, hopefully see you back next time at Interlagos next week. The Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit. A brilliant circuit for GT3s and Formula 1 cars. So hopefully we'll see you there next week, live on Next Gen Racing TV, YouTube and Facebook. A lot of drivers in the pits now. The only one who's managed to stay out there is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Even the person who's able to save better fuel than anyone, Benji McCluskey. Who that was a rather quick stop from Ben McCluskey. Langford's still in his box. And they were close together on the track. I wonder if he's taken on tyres. Can't quite tell. It's not on the jacks. Jack Pittas still in the box as well. So's Archie Bennett. Archie Bennett now leads. He was in second place. He's lost all those places to McCluskey, Raff. Loads of places. Now back on track is Harry Langford. I just wonder if there are drivers who are choosing to take on tyres. Okay, well, let's see what happens when more and more drivers head into the pits. Papa Constantino is back out on track. He pitted from the battle for second place. As he rejoins the track, actually. There's Papa Constantino just ahead of Stephen Di Greveglia here. So Stephen Di Greveglia looking to get back into that battle with Papa Constantino. It's all a bit shuffled up here. It's a little bit confusing at the moment. It's hard to tell who's where. But Stephen Di Greveglia is back in front of Papa Constantino. On fresher tyres as well, I might add. Kieran Davidson retakes the lead here as Brandon Vincent-Squibb and George Plaster are in the pits. Stefan Vessels, he's gained a lot. He has gained a lot under that pit stop to Kieran Davidson. Now that's going to threaten the lead here for Kieran Davidson unless he can maintain strong lap times. Because Stefan Vessels is the quickest of the bunch. He's a very good qualifier. Ben McCluskey is up here in 6th place now. All of the top 8 here have pitted, so it's pretty much net positions now for these gold category. The only one in the top 8 of the silvers is Forbes, but he is in the pits now. So these are the positions as we see them. And it's quite interesting actually. John Berry dominating the silver category at the moment, 12 seconds clear of Jeffrey Kruger. And then Stein Vatens behind in 3rd place. This would be a very good debut in the silver category actually for Stein Vatens and John Berry. John Berry probably more so. Lewis Mason seems to have done rather well here in the bronze category. He's opened up 7 seconds to Stephen Di Greveglia. So a couple of these drivers have really nailed their pit stops. Ben Outra is facing the wrong way. Oh my words, and that was a very risky turnaround there. Now something's happened to him. What's this? Is this Ben McCluskey ahead? McCluskey goes wide. Oh, and he spins it under acceleration. And you know what? What a night he has had. And that just... Oh, he'd be gutted about that. I'm gutted about that. He was doing so well tonight. He's still in 8th place. Still might be able to claw back some points. But somehow, he also avoided the wall. That's some going to do that on that section of the track as well. Harry Langford, as we mentioned, was in the box a lot longer. He's down to 13th place now. keen to know what happened, why he was in the box for longer. A lot of drivers have had that as well. If you look at the bronze category, Stephen de Grivelia and Gabriel Papaconstantino, they've somehow dropped 7 seconds to Lewis Mason all of a sudden. Credit to Stephen de Grivelia, to be fair, I know it's my own driver, I know, and it's not completely biased, but Stephen struggled last season, and he has been fighting for the top spots in both these races so far. He did inherit a bit of a good grid position for race 2, but this seems like a very big improvement for Stephen for this season, with this race being the only teller for that at the moment, but let's see what he can achieve this season. So far tonight, it's been good performances for him. Adam Wilson Weir right behind Gaz Williams. He's got to sniff the podium here, but Ben McCluskey is lurking in 5th place here. Ben McCluskey has done what Ben McCluskey does. During the pit stop period, that's where he claws a lot of his positions. In 5th place, the only driver who's a real direct threat for the championship is up ahead in 2nd position. Otherwise, everyone else is behind Ben McCluskey, and that's just what he does. So Stefan Vessels might not have got the result in race 1 that he really would have wanted. But to be fair, race 2 he has really picked it up. He's 4.5 seconds behind Kieran Davidson. A win is still on the cards. Now, John Berry, something's happened to him. I've got an instant for him on my timing screen. He has lost that lead in the silver category. He's less than 2 seconds now ahead of Jeffrey Kruger. Hits the curb too hard. Yes, and it spins him around. That's what can happen on a hot track, like what it is today. And such sensitive cars on loose setups. John Berry's lead is now under threat in this silver category. He's 2 seconds ahead of Jeffrey Kruger. But you know what? John Berry's pace tonight has been exceptional. He can keep it going. He can do it again. But Jeffrey Kruger is tough competition. I tell you what, this silver category this season is going to be very, very exciting. There's so many drivers in this category who have got such potential. John Berry, Jeffrey Kruger, Stein Vatens, Nigel Stock, Alan McCain, Matthew Addy. Loads that have won races in the past in this category and have fought for championships in the bronze category as well, being Vatens and John Berry. Been a lot of drivers moved down to silver category from gold category. A skirmish for 3rd place might be on the cards. It's Gaz Williams holds off Adam Wilson Weir and his teammate Ben McCluskey. There they are heading into turn 4 now. Very dark out there, very cloudy above us now. No humidity, so very low chance of rain. Stranger things have happened, especially in this series. I can only remember season 5, whereas prototypes and GT3s, it was when rain was at the start of its iRacing career, let's just say. And all of a sudden, towards the end of the feature race at Road Atlanta, it hammered it down, and it really, really shook things up. Oh, we have got a pace car out on the track right now. Must have been a big incident somewhere. And all drivers will come to a crawl. And I think it's involved Kozielek and Jeffrey Kruger. Kruger's lost position, so here's Kruger. Oh, there wasn't room on the inside there. Oh. Car spun round, stuck on the track. And that's why a full course caution has been called. While the track cleans up a little bit, we'll get things going again soon. And now we're green. a very short one just to clear up the track a little bit. We do have live stewards now. We do have live race control. Just keep an eye on things and make sure things are safe and clean for the drivers. But that move from Jeffrey Kruger, I don't adjudicate too much, but it looked like that was a closing gap that he wasn't able to get his car into. But maybe he was just late on the brakes and he didn't quite know where to put the car. But he drops him to third. It means that Stein Vaten is into second place, and it is now yet again a commanding lead for John Berry. 30 seconds clear now of Stein Vaten, who is in the same team, both I and B, so it's big points for their team. Well, actually, the timing screen's a little bit all over the place between John Berry and Stein Vaten. It's now dropped down to 13 seconds, 12 seconds. Yeah, it's still refreshing. It's probably still working itself out because the splits would have messed up from the full course caution we had. Full course yellow, shall I say. Something's happened to Alan. Oh, Alan McCain is off in the infield. It was looking like a pretty decent recovery for Alan McCain in this race, but it's not to be. It really shakes up the points in the silver category. There's a car to his inside. But no, the car just loses it on the rear. And his teammate Nigel Stock is dropping down the order as well. I think he might be out of this race as well. So Nigel Stock will not see the checkered flag of this race either. So it's a bad feature race for Crest Autosport potentially. It's still got Stephen Fry in 5th place in silvers. And Stephen de Gravelia in the 3rd place of the bronze category. Back to gold category. Here's Ben McCluskey. Still hasn't found a way around Adam Wilson-Weir yet. He's holding his own very, very well, it must be said. No move yet. Going into turn number 6 just then. No move. Oh, okay. iRacing, calm down. Sun is coming out a little bit here. Dare he say it? As a Brit, you never say that. It's divvied up quite a bit actually across these categories. There's a few battles to take note of, including this one where Ben McCluskey is looking for podium positions. And you know what? That'll help him in the championship against Steph Vessels. Steph Vessels probably in himself hope that Ben McCluskey stays below 3rd place to help him in his championship. They are already thinking about it, believe me. Even at round 1, they are thinking about it. It's such tight-knit battles in this championship, and you really can't mess it up. Especially when Ben McCluskey just does not make mistakes. Oh, was just up ahead. This is Jonas Anderson. Oh, dear me. And I think that was Zara McGuinness. Trying to find their way around it is Stefan Vessels past these back markers. The rules are if you get the blue flag, you must allow the leaders through in this series. You can continue on the racing line, but you must not get in the way, impede, or take out the lead lap driver. But yes, Stefan Vessels will be hoping that this man, Ben McCluskey, does not gain many more positions. Takes his time, does McCluskey. There's 10 minutes to go in this race. He in his head will know how he can get himself into 3rd place. He'll be figuring it out right now already. I'm just going to take a look at track temperature quickly. It is 28 degrees track temperature, so it is cooling down. It's because we've got a bit of cloud cover. That will really help. Here we go. McCluskey is looking around. He's now planning his moves. He can probably utilise the traffic to make these moves on Adam Wilson-Weir and, believe it or not, his teammate Gaz Williams. The final corner. He drops off a little bit from Adam Wilson-Weir. There's no denying that after tonight, Ben McCluskey will be the emergent championship leader if he can indeed make his way past Stefan Wessels. I think he'll not past Adam Wilson-Weir ahead and Gaz Williams. I think as it stands he'll be the championship leader anyway, but he'll just want those points. And John Berry to add things to it. He gets fastest lap of the race, which is going to help him in the championship as well. Jeffrey Kruger might be wriggling his way back into a decent scoring position. He's in third place right now, and after the drama he's had in this race, Wojciech Kurp had an incident earlier on in the race. He's into fourth now. What a fantastic comeback throughout this race. It's just gone unnoticed until now, really. What a brilliant comeback from Wojciech Kurp, the race 1 winner. So this is really good for his championship hopes after this round. But Kruger might be looking for second place against fellow previous bronze category driver Stein Vatens. It's looking pretty good for a win in bronze category for Lewis Mason as well. If Lewis Mason was in the silver category, he'd be 5th place. That's how well he's doing in this race. He's just keeping it clean, and once he took the lead, and he did something remarkably correct in that pit stop, clearly, he was off and away in this bronze category. Papa Constantino, good position, 2nd place, and quite a way clear now of Stephen de Crivellia, who he himself robbed himself of a podium earlier on in the sprint race. This might be a podium to make back up for that, and he'll be pleased with that if he can do that. He's got quite a gap to 4th place, 23 seconds to 4th place. So it's been a good race for Stephen. Kieran Davidson, what a race he's had. He didn't start pole position, but he took it at the start. Commanding lead, and you know what? He's held it, and he's actually increased it. He is lapping quicker than Stefan Wessels right now. And of course, after the race, ladies and gentlemen, we will have, hopefully we'll have, interviews from the drivers. Join us after the race, let us know how things got on. And the one thing I'm keen to ask them about is pit stops. What was the best strategy? Were they taking on tyres? That's what I want to know, because that's what I'm not aware of with it being round 1. Because there's such changes with these cars, the tyre model and the physics, and the balance of performance between these cars, season in, season out, it's so hard to keep up with. I don't really drive these cars on the regular either, so it's hard to find it out myself either. But hopefully we can find out from the drivers what it is. And actually, Kieran Davidson, not only does he want the win, he wants fastest lap as well. Brilliant lap there to take the fastest lap from the person who had it before, I believe was Harry Langford. That is our very first... no, it's not actually, but it's a 141. And you know what? Because the track's cooling down, actually, this means that lap times might actually get quicker at this point in the race. And we do have another caution. This one might have been Mark Baker and Andy Rooney. This is Mark Baker in the Mercury Col d'Orseur team. Oh, and it spins round. Okay, but what about Andy Rooney here? Something caused the caution. Oof. Here we go. Into the wall. Not entirely sure what caused the caution then. They're running. They're off and running again. They did come down to a crawl again. With 5 minutes to go in this race. What drivers don't want is a driver to get an advantage from anything happening like safety car or a caution. Now, this was the restart. Ben McCluskey hammered it down, and he got round the outside of Adam Wilson, and then the inside of his teammate Gaz Williams, who gives him room. So that's a neat double pass, and I told you it was going to happen. Told you it was going to happen. He was just going to eventually just go, pluck, I'll have that. And he's taken third place. So this means a double podium for Ben McCluskey by the looks of it. A clinic yet again put on by McCluskey. To get himself into third place. Crucial championship points. Jeffrey Kruger still looking to try and get that second place, but Stein Vatens really is holding on to it very well indeed. Not much going on in the other categories as well. Bronze are very divvied up. It looks like Mason, Papaconstantino and De Gravelli is going to be our podium unless anything dramatic happens there. I would say this is the main battle to look out for in this race at this point. Kieran Davidson will have 2 more laps in this race. He's a long way clear of Stefan Vessels. I think now finds himself 11 seconds down. I'm not sure how that gap's come to be. That last lap was quicker. It's a little bit of a strange gap that's happened between Davidson and Vessels. Kruger is slipping away from Stein Vatens. Vatens is just able to pluck away and gain that gap. Wojciech Kurp is moving into the equation as well. He might be able to challenge in his final lap coming up next. Maybe even actually 2 laps to go for Wojciech Kurp. A towel ahead. He might be able to put in a challenge for a repeat podium tonight, similar to what Ben McCluskey's done, but in gold category. Them 2 drivers, if they can get it done, they'll be the only repeat podium sitters tonight. I believe. Jeffrey Kruger has come back at Stein Vatens a little bit on that last lap. On that last lap, though, Wojciech Kurp was half a second quicker than both of them. We might well get a battle for second place or at least third place, yet still. Kieran Davidson has started his final lap for what will be his first night racing the GT3s here at NXTGEN. It will be a win for Kieran Davidson early on in this series. The first win is usually the hardest in a series, but you know what, getting it done nice and early is what drivers will love and want. Kruger has lost a bit to Vatens, and Kurp gains on this lap. Fastest lap of the race yet again set by John Berry, who's in the 41s. That's some going. The white flag will wait for these drivers. Kurp will feel time's running out for him to try and get that podium. But what a drive he's had tonight. He has been the standout silver performer tonight with a win and a near podium with the way things stand right now. But we are going to switch to our winner-elect in the gold category. From lights to flag, it's pretty much been Kieran Davidson's race. Welcome to the series with a win for the Type 2 racing team in the gold category. Kieran Davidson wins the gold category in the feature race here at Mexico City. And there is debris on the track on the final corner there. But heading round now is Stefan Wessels to take second place. And Ben McCluskey has run out of fuel. I think, no, he hasn't run out of fuel. He let Gaz Williams take third place in that race. I wonder if he felt like it was unfairly done. I wonder if he felt like it was that. Not sure. We'll have to find out later. But Gaz Williams will take third and Ben McCluskey fourth. But coming through, he's promoted from bronze category to silver category for this season. And you know what? He's proved he can do it. This is a car off on the inside there. I think that's Sammy Araba. But it's a first win in silver category for John Berry. And another win for Type 2 Racing. Stein Vatens will come through in second place as Kruger and Kerp battle it out right to the end. But it's going to be Vatens and Kruger who are on the podium in the silver category for this feature race. Kerp just misses out on that podium, but he did pick up the sprint race win earlier on. And our winner in bronze category, Lewis Mason, is going to come through to take an early win in the championship. It wouldn't be an all Type 2 win tonight in the feature race, but Lewis Mason will break that with a win for himself and full tilt. Gabriel Papaconstantino will come through for second place in bronze category, and already finished the race is Stephen de Gravelia in the bronze category. He did get his podium in the end that he felt he should have got from the sprint race. Your winner from this race, Kieran Davidson. And your winner from the sprint race, Benji McCluskey, and presumably championship leader at this point. Okay, so let's go to the results of this feature race. They're all provisional, these results. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, they all get counted up, adjudicated, decided after the racing. But for now, it is a Kieran Davidson win in the gold category for this opening race of the season. Stefan Wessels in second position with a strong fight through the field to get to that second place. And Gaz Williams in third place is given that place back by Ben McCluskey, who finishes fourth. Adam Wilson-Weir, fifth position with Jason Raff in sixth. Ben Altria, seventh from Brandon Vincent-Squibb in eighth position. George Plaster in ninth, followed by Archie Bennett in 10th. Outside the top 10 is Harry Langford. A bad race for him and his teammate Jack Pittas, who pick up 11th and 12th in the end. 13th is Jess Payne-Wilkins, with Klaas Vellen in 4th position. Phil McDougall 15th from Gavin Gardner in 16th, and a DNF. A disconnection, it seems, for William Guthrie. Silver category now. And it's a commanding win for John Berry. 19 seconds clear of Stein Vatens, who Jeffrey Kruger and Wojciech Kerp battled it out for the final few laps for second, third and fourth respectively. Fifth position for Stephen Fry, ahead of Matthew Addy and Paul Williams. And a lap or more down were Sean Shute, Rob Savage and Neil Forbes rounding off the top 10. And outside the top 10 were Mark Baker, Zara McGuinness, Ryan Blackwell, Elwyn Sykes, Alan McCain, Wesley Lewin, and Jopi Siemens, and a DNF, unfortunately, for Nigel Stock. And the bronze category now is a little bit hard to tell the time differences, but they were all quite divvied up in the bronze category. But it's a win for Lewis Mason, an opening win of the season for him. Gabriel Papaconstantino in second position, followed by Stephen de Gravelia on the podium for Crest Autosport. Gastep Motorsport 4 and 5, Jonas Anderson and Matt Gatter 4th and 5th. Andrew Allen in 6th position, followed by teammate Josh Downing, who won the sprint race earlier on. Leslie Brazil in 8th position with Sammy Araba in 9th place, and rounding off the top 10 is Andrew Rooney on his return to the series. 11th for Yaroslav Pataluk. Jochen Sigert in 12th position, followed by Fabian Kozielek. Davide Favo in 14th. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 15th. And Joseph Wright, as well as Lillian Sinclair, DNS for them. Okay, we do have interviews lined up, but what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump back to the start of this race, and then we'll be interviewing some drivers. The first driver of which we're going to welcome in will be, eventually we'll welcome in, the winner of the silver category. So we welcome into the commentary booth for an interview post-race with our silver category winner, John Berry. John, welcome back to the Next Gen League. Welcome back to the comms booth. Winner on your first race in silver category. That must feel good. Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I think I've actually properly had a good cheer at the end of a race. I started this track 2 days ago. I wasn't doing very well prior when I first bought it, and I was doing 145s, and then to get top it off right towards the end with the 141, I'm really chuffed. And to be mixing with some of the aliens in here in that race was fantastic as well. So yeah, really happy with my performance. The sprint didn't go so well, but yeah, definitely did in the feature. I managed to make some really good positions really early on, which just set me apart from everybody else, I think. Yeah, really chuffed tonight.
We'll chat about how you executed that feature race very shortly, but let's just talk about your movement from bronze category to silver category. How did you feel when that came about? Because you always had the potential to be in silver category, in my opinion, but you didn't actually get a championship in bronze category, unfortunately. But how did you initially feel when you moved into silver category?
Anxious, because I know there are obviously some quick drivers in there that were outpacing me last season. Yeah, a little bit anxious, but again, lots of new faces in the field this season. Some veterans in there as well, and I just wondered how I was going to stack up. So a bit of anxiousness was definitely a feeling, but overall, I'm pleased to be on the top step tonight. So I think hopefully, with missing next week with some real life testing, I'll be at Silverstone next week and testing for real life racing this season. So I'll miss next week. So hopefully I can recover by Road America and top the podium again there. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed and put some practice in. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Fabulous. Sad to hear you're missing next week, but glad you're doing real life racing. That's brilliant. Best of luck to you on that. But tell us how you executed the feature race to get yourself the win then.
Well, I would say pure talent, but I think that would boost my ego too much. No, I think I was just once I'd sort of settled into my rhythm, I wasn't too bad. I do tend to find that when I'm away from everybody, I can settle myself and just sort of consistently set good laps. And then, I tried to pull Zara along early on, but I think my pace was just a little bit too much, and she might have felt a little bit under pressure from the car behind. So I set off about going to catch up with the Golds and just see if I can stick with them, stay in the tow, and yeah, I'm just really tough with my performance tonight because I don't think I've ever driven that well.
Oh, fantastic. That's good to hear. That's absolutely good to hear. You did have a little moment in that feature race, though, if I remember right. Did you have a little spin at one point?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to see it. But yes, I did. It was a very small one. I couldn't actually tell you what happened because I managed to get back into the flow of things pretty quickly. So I couldn't tell you what happened there, but I think I probably just lost the back somewhere and just looped it a little bit. But it is what it is. I still managed to set a decent gap between myself and I think it was Jeffrey Kruger at the time. So that way it just proved really well for me that I could do that and I could then still recover the car.
Okay, yeah, we did notice it on the live stream and we did capture it. I'm sure you'll clip it later on. But yeah, unfortunately you're missing the next round at Interlagos. Brilliant circuit, but you're back for Road America. So tell us, we'll talk about the team a little bit in a short while, but tell us, what are your goals for this season?
As a goal for every season, just try and get on the podium. I know later in the season there's going to be some veterans that come through that are going to be absolutely outstanding later in the season. So as long as I keep the consistency that I've got tonight and move that forward into the races that I will be, I think I'm going to stand a good chance. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I can't do too much. I just hope that I can continue this good run into silver and finally a well-deserved championship.
Fantastic stuff. Now let's talk about the team. We've got a brand new team name. You guys change team name all the time. But Type 2 Racing, tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so Type 2, again, is just a new rendition from Mission R. We decided to change the name because it closely related to a different type of vehicle that is also in the game. So we wanted to separate ourselves. So we're now called Type 2, and we've taken on a load of new drivers since last season as well. So obviously we've got some really good faces in here. So we've got a lot, obviously likes of returning of Adam, who's myself and Adam are the co-owners, and then we have Brandon and Kieran. We also have some new faces in here. I'm really wishing the best of luck in this season, and it's a really good proving ground to set yourself up to do well in iRacing. So obviously welcome to all of our new guys. We wish you the best of luck with us. And let's go and top some more podiums, everybody. Thank you very much, for being with us.
Amazing stuff. So that's Type 2 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, last question, John. I feel like you did it a little bit just then, but final question is there anybody who might be watching the broadcast tonight that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. I have P1 Docs, Mords. I have IMB Racewear, Capture Athletics, Dubby Energy. Everybody that's helping us achieve what we get to, and also including Wolf Motorsport as well, the real life team. So yeah, just everybody that makes it achievable to be here, and yeah, just thank you very much, and thank you, Alex.
Good stuff. And actually, final bonus question, what are you racing next week at Silverstone?
I'm racing a 2023 Alfa Romeo Giulia in full carbon for the Road Sports series of 750 Motor Club, and also HSCC Alpha Champs. Nice. No other words. Nice. Brilliant. Well,
best of luck with that, John. We hope you get on well next week. We'll see you at Road America in a few weeks' time.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy next week, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. There we go, John Berry, always willing to come into the interview room. It's great to speak to him, great to speak to any of the drivers, but we haven't got any more lined up at the moment. Hopefully we can get more next week, ladies and gentlemen, but we are going to wrap up our show now. We don't have any championship standings to update just yet. It's because the first round, it always takes a little while for things to get into swing. But we'll have championship standings for you first thing on the broadcast next week. Now, up next week is the Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache, the Interlagos circuit in Brazil, famous for Formula 1, of course, famous for the touring cars that happen, the stock cars, that's it, what it's called in Brazil. They're fantastic racing cars. But that's coming up next week on the 26th of March. Join us on NXTGEN Racing TV, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. We'll be live for that race there, and it'll be a sprint race and a feature race, and of course qualifying to precede it all. So, as we step away, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. This has been the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9, opening round of the season. Let's give a big shout out to our partners and sponsors for supporting the show here, supporting the organisation and supporting the racing. They are PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, and Falconer PC. This has been NXTGEN Racing, the GT3s on Thursday night. It's good to be back. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator tonight on behalf of Crest Autosport. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you back next time at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for the GT3s. Thank you and good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.